So if you catch me on the replay, yep, that's how it works when you do lives. You gotta handle being by yourself for a while. Sometimes nobody might be listening at all. So that's when you talk to the stars, right? You look up in the sky and you think, God, I'm all alone in this world. There's nobody out there. Nobody understands me. Nobody gets me. Just know you're never alone. You're never alone because the emanations, the radiations from the stars up above, there's there's wisdom, there's knowledge, there's unity. There's unity. Those stars, believe it or not, represent every being on the planet and more. Welcome. This is G. You have made it to the star room, and apparently I'm not alone. I hear a kitty cat in here somewhere. So, every star room, I'm saying every, we are going to begin by lighting a candle for the star room. So let me try and do that real quick here. Let me see if you can hear me. I see I've got it says 3 people, but let me know that you're there. Hey T, Tanisha Armstrong, you do these awesome reviews on the musical. Well, you do reviews on everything, whether it's music or girl, you there's not anything you don't do, I think. You review. I've seen so many uploads from you recently. You're doing music reviews, you do food reviews, you do a bunch of awesome interesting stuff. And you know what? You're doing stuff I've never even heard of, to be honest with you. So who else we got here? Susie Rosas. Welcome, Susie Rosas. Welcome to G's Star Room. This is the second episode of G's Star Room. And so I'm hoping that we will be able to have lots of these episodes where we'll have some native guides come through to give messages, spirit guides for you guys, my spirit guides, energy from the stars, radiations from the stars, messages from the stars. We're going to have, it's going to be a time where we're just going to focus on us. But stick with me. I got a cat in the room that wants to leave. So I am going to, we haven't officially begun. We don't officially begin until I light the candle. I've got a candle over here. You can't see it, but once it's lit, you'll see it. The stars aren't going anywhere. Remember, you, every single one of you that shows up tonight, and for all the future episodes, we are all stars. All right. You are a star. I'm a star. We're all stars. Everybody is a star. And this show is not about me. It will never be about me unless I'm asked a straight question. It's about you. It's about you. It's about your life. It's about what you're going through. It's about, hey, it's a Saturday night and I'm sitting here and I'm thinking, hey, I don't know. What are you thinking? Comment below. Tell me, first of all, where you're from, where you're watching from. And then you have to tell us, like, what time is it? And don't forget to thumb up the live. That helps. And do the Allastrology family a favor. And if you could share the live, that helps. It helps other people to know that, hey, we're here. We're a community and we're here to just chill on Saturday night and to just be among the stars, to have a place of peace, to have a safe space, to talk about whatever you guys want to talk about. If it has to do, hopefully, along the lines of, hey, Team Gravely, what's up, Team Gravely? This is Miss Nita Boo. Hey, Miss Nita Boo, how are you? It's so good to see you. These lives are new. And so, Team Gravely, Miss Nita Boo, you've got a whole crew of people. You guys are, I know you guys are in the midst of a move. How's that going? Is the move over with? Send prayers out for you guys. I did a native ceremony earlier in the week. And said prayers for you guys because, God, I don't know about you, but I can't stand moving. But let me stop first. Let me stand up. I'm not stopping, but let me stand up and go let the cat out of the room. She's clawing at the door. I didn't know there was a cat in the room when I began. I should have known better, but it's okay. Get your water, get your pop, get your coffee, get your tea, get your hot chocolate, get whatever it is you need to get comfy and come and just chill with me among the stars. And we can talk about the astrological events. Sheila, you are up. Girl, what time is it? Again, comment below, everybody who's here, whoever is here. Tell me where you're from and what time it is. Look at that, Texas. What time is it in Texas? Subliminal Radio. Hey, beautiful. How are you? It's good to see you. You guys are all great supporters of astrology. So if you don't know each other, make yourselves acquainted. You know how I show up for you. So understand that anybody that shows up here right now shows up the right way. Okay, you want people who you can rely on, who you can depend on, people who are going to get to you and they're going to take care of you. So Sheila, you're in Seoul. I'm sorry, my comments keep rotating really fast on the screen. I'm trying to get you guys on this on the laptop instead first, but hold on because I got cats at the door. Don't go anywhere. I will be right back. Make sure you thumb up and share it out. Hold on. All right, we got two kitty cats. Come on. Come on. Oh, we got a cat party now. Zoe, you want out? Or are you going to stay in? All right. I got to shut the door because they might have the sounds going on really loud out there. We got to have our hoodie in case we get cold. All right, so let me find this the live so I can go through the comments here. Let me hit a rotation thing here real quick. All right. All right, says we're on. Good, 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 good. Let's go for the comments. So tonight, I actually have, I always got something astrology-wise that I want to talk about. If you want to, let me see here. Give me a second. I still haven't lit my candle. Come on in and be the star. Alrighty, so let me get the microphone back. I got cats everywhere. They're up above, they're down below, so be ready for cat action. If something hits the ground, it's one of the girls, don't worry about it. We're all good. And I'm about to light the candle so we can be on. I've had a lot of technical difficulties lately. Okay, the cats might have a fight. They are giving each other the stare down. If you have cats, you know what I'm talking about. I got a cat stare down happening in the room. They talk with their eyes, and they're pretty intense. All right, let me see if I can find myself here and go to the comment section. Okay, so let's see. Who do we got here? Let me see. Let me back up here. Okay. Let's see what we got here. All righty. So, who else came in? Where are you from? You got to put in, if you didn't hear me at the beginning of the live, we're putting down where we're from and what time it is. Sheila from Korea made it. Sheila is pretty interesting. Actually, everybody here is interesting. Everybody's got their own story. Everybody has, so far I've seen most people who have their own channel. Forgive me for a second. I'm still navigating. I'm so not used to doing a live on the phone, on the laptop, and then anyway. So give me a minute to figure myself out here, which I'm trying to do, and I'm having difficulties. How is the audio sounding? I know last time I had a horrible audio problem, which Sheila helped me to figure out. How does the audio sound? Is the audio okay? Okay, no responses. Uh-oh, that's not good. I better do something different, right? Okay, yeah. I am having major problems. Okay, we got some people. Here we go. Let me see if this thing will allow me to. I can't stand that I have to use the phone to do all this. Okay, wow. Okay, Texas is in the house, right? Tanisha Armstrong, Sheila's Log, Team Gravely, Subliminal Radio, Susie Rojas, Mexico City. Susie, I don't think we've acquainted ourselves before. How are you, Susie? So you're out of Mexico City, and you speak English quite well. If you're here tuned into me and you can understand what I'm saying, I don't. You know what? I am not bilingual. I speak English. You know what? I do speak another language, but it's the language of the stars. It's not, it's totally different, right? But if you're interested in the language of the stars, awesome. I really am trying to get this thing situated here for my comments, but I don't understand why I cannot find myself. This is so weird. I mean, I have myself, but I can't see my comments for the live. Why is that? I did last time. Like, what's the problem? Yeah, I can't see it. All right, well, we're just going to go ahead and start talking. So let me see here. Let me scroll down. The audio is perfect. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Nevada, 7:45 p.m. in Nevada. Awesome. Strong energy. Yeah, you know what it was? Yeah. The sound, I was charging my phone while I was on because I started with a phone that only had like 35% battery, which was a mistake. When the channel first began, we would do lives, but we would do them on a desktop actually. We got a desktop in the other room. So I didn't have to deal with any of those issues, but there were major lighting issues. So how are the stars showing up tonight? Can you see the stars in here? Well, you hear a cat in the background, like they're picking away at. Yeah, that's Zoe. She's going to town. She's the one who's been on the recent videos. Okay, let me press that button and see what that does. This is so awkward that I'm using the screen. Okay, so let me get a little bit more orientated here. Perfect sound. Today's audio is perfect. Your own comments. Yeah, you can't see your own comments. No, I can't see anything. All I can see are the comments on my phone. I can't see the comments on the laptop, which is strange because the last time I did this, I had no problem. Now all of a sudden I'm like, I can't read the comments here, which is kind of what I would rather do instead of reading them off of there. It's super distracting for me. Yeah, how do I read them off? I'm going to comments, but I'm looking for just the comments for this live, which I did before. And I'm not able to do it. And it's kind of annoying. Sheila, did you say what time it is? It's got to be extremely early by you, girl. It's got to be like you're still in bed, right, Sheila? 12:37 in the afternoon. Oh, my bad. What was I thinking about? Well, then this is a good time for you, right? This is Sunday afternoon for you, Sheila. Okay. Live stream. Yeah, I can't seem to read the, well, that means I'm going to be totally winging it. It says I can't really read your comments, so that kind of blows. She said, maybe you need to click show them. It could be something as simple as that. That would be me. It's so weird. Unless it takes a minute, but I don't, yeah, I can see the comments on my phone. But the comments on the phone, like if people start commenting simultaneously really fast, they just start scrolling. You know, it's like you're in a super chat, right? And well, hello, if I'm trying to see what you have to say, I can't read that fast. Although I'm a pretty fast reader, but not that damn fast. God, this blows. I cannot find your guys' comments. What is up with this? Maybe you need to click show them. Yeah, it's a setting. Are you using? I am. I'm doing everything the same that I did last time. I'm on YouTube. I'm doing everything the same. That's what's so weird. Last time I was able to see the comments also on the laptop. Although, what I could do, maybe, I will just do this. Yeah, I don't understand it. It's not letting me do that this time. All right, well, all right, so I'm just going to go ahead and, we got the candle lit. I got to light a little bit of sage, okay? I'm probably going to have to get up and let the cats out in a minute, and I think there's one hiked up among the stars. You can probably see her silhouette. Can you see her silhouette? She's right, oh, it's so dark over there. Anyway, we're going to light some sage. The sage works as, you know, you can use other things to clear. The girls actually don't like the sage. They scatter when I light the sage. But what I do when I light the sage is it helps me to center, helps me to focus. It also clears out any unwanted vibes, energy. And for me, I kind of started to talk about this the last time because there was a question in the comments. People were asking, how did you kind of find astrology or whatever? How did you get interested in astrology? How did all that begin? And so in the first live, I started talking about that. And the one of my intentions, this started a long time ago when I started receiving, I would get messages all the time. And beings on the other side would just come through, and it got really complicated. It starts to interfere with your everyday life. Like I was literally at my job working one time, and this was so awkward. I can't even tell you. I had a customer I was taking care of, and the customer walked up to the counter, but before they got to the counter, this person's relative, this person's auntie, came in, and so I didn't know who. Yeah, it was so weird. I mean, it wasn't. It wasn't. I was used to it, but not at my job, and so it was like I could hear a female's voice right in my ear, and she was telling me everything's going to be okay. Calm down. I can't remember exactly. I just remember that she was giving me all this information, and I kept thinking, who are you and who is this for? Because I don't know you, right? Like, I've felt family members before, and I don't know how to explain it because everybody is different. How everybody receives information is different. But I knew I didn't know this person, okay? And so I was just like, well, who is this for? Well, literally seconds later, right? This female approaches my counter, and she starts talking, asks me a question, and places an order for whatever. And automatically, like her aunt comes in and is just like, this is my niece, this is my niece. And so she starts telling me what she wants me to share with her niece. So here's this woman who doesn't know me, this woman who I don't know, a customer, right? First time I've ever seen this customer. It wasn't like it was a repeat customer. And she comes and she places the order, and all of a sudden I said to her, because it was so strong, and it's tricky because you're representing who you work for, and so for whatever reason I felt safe enough that I could share what was coming through. So I said to her, I went ahead and I took care of her stuff. I got what she wanted first of all, and after that, while I was taking care of her order, while I was getting her stuff together, I came back to the front counter and I had these things that her relative wanted her to hear. And so I went ahead, and forgive me if I'm not making any comments, or I have to finish the story, but plus I'm having a hard time reading my comments. So just keep on, and I'll eventually, somehow, somewhere, they're going to show up. But anyway, to get to this rest of the story, so I'm standing there and I come back to the counter with what she needed. And I said, forgive me, I said, but there is something I have to share with you. I said, there is somebody here with me that's been here since seconds before you walked up. She's telling me that she is your auntie, and that she was like a mother to you, that you two were really close. This lady at my counter started crying immediately. She started crying, and I was like, it was so awkward. I was like, okay. I, I, I was really, really worried because I thought, well, it could have gone really bad or it could have gone really good. And usually, well, tears doesn't necessarily mean a bad thing all the time, but it definitely doesn't always mean a good thing either. And so I was like, oh my God. So I waited, and then she was like, I can't even remember what she said. My mind, the way it works, it's more about incoming, like future and stuff. And all I remember was that she said something. She wasn't mad at me. She wasn't mad. She thanked me, but she was very, very super emotional. She started grabbing tissues. She started asking for the napkins. She started digging in her purse to get her glasses on, so she put her sunglasses on so nobody knew that she was crying. And Tam and Kel, it says that Tam and Kel just showed up. Hi, ladies. Glad that you could be here. Glad that everybody is here. If there's anybody who showed up that I didn't say that to, forgive me. I am grateful to have you present. Let me finish my story real quick. So anyway, the lady was, I thought she was happy, or I thought she was grateful. I wasn't sure. I just know that she already had what she needed. We had already made our exchange with the money and stuff. She grabbed her stuff and she ran away basically from the store, like as fast as she could. She just got up and walked away. And I was just like, oh my God. I did not know. I like didn't even sleep that night because I was really upset over, I caused somebody to cry, like something that I said. it happened at my job. Like, this lady could call corporate. I didn't really know what was going to happen. There was a part of me that was like, it's going to be okay. And then there was another part of me that was really worried. Like, this was my bread and butter, you know? I didn't own the place. You know, I had bosses. I had people to answer to. Plus, I had corporate over, you know, anyway. So I had other people that I had to answer to. And so I thought, oh, man, I can't do that ever again, you know? So a couple days go by, and I hadn't heard anything. I hadn't gotten a complaint from corporate. There was nothing crazy going on. So I thought, okay, this is okay, right? Well, sure enough, by the weekend, the lady and somebody else walked up to the store together, all right? So this time she comes to the counter again, and she's there with, just a younger woman. And she said to me, I don't know if it was her sister, and she said, I'm really interested. She said, my sister told me what you said to her, and she wanted me to tell you thank you. And so then her sister, who I guess was still emotional about it, I'm not sure. Maybe it was me. Maybe I was being more emotional than them. I don't know. I just remember thinking I was so scared when they approached, and but they did, and it turned out okay. It turned out okay. She thanked me. She thanked me and thanked me. Not necessarily. She thanked me for sharing, but she was grateful. She said she wanted me to know that her aunt had come through at a time when she was really needing her. She was in a very dark place. She was really needing somebody to know to come through that would be understanding. Somebody. It's like, when you just need somebody who can understand what you're going through. She said, and that person for her had always been that person. But once that person had passed on and died, she felt like she was alone. And so when she started, going through this other experience, that she was going through this tough time, she was just really in a dark place. And so have heard from her, she was happy, and it made her feel really good. And so she just basically came with her family member, and they both wanted to say thank you. And I cannot tell you how relieved and how happy and how filled with joy that I was. I was just ecstatic. So at that point, though, I just had come around to the idea that I needed to I wanted it to just, wherever my information came from, I wanted it to come from, I guess a higher point, because if people can step in at any time, you're kind of open to them. And I know there's all sorts of training you should do to make sure and to control how that occurs. But my whole thing is astrology and how that all came to be. And so let me see if there's anything I should address here in the comments, because I'm babbling on. There you go. Tam and Kel, they know what they're up to, right? They're in Florida, right? USA, 10:50 p.m. Subliminal radio. Susie, you have something to say about this. This is very cool. Yes, I can understand you. I speak English. Awesome. Thank you, Susie. Awesome. I'm so glad you speak English. I speak a little bit of Spanish, or at least I think I do. Doesn't mean I really do. Hola. ¿Cómo está? Right? Like, that's like the extent of it. So subliminal, that happens to my sister all the time. Well, then I would love for your sister to be tuning in so that, she can chime in and tell us her experience subliminal, because you know what? The thing is, people hear, it's funny because when I see and when I talk with people, of course, it's been a while because we've been in this pandemic, right? So I don't get to, nobody gets to go and, congregate with people the way they used to, but I have a place that I go to. Oh, hold on. I think I've lost some major lighting here. Okay, that helped. The laptop went to sleep. Yeah, this is all the lighting from the laptop. Is it enough? I just realized I don't have my lighting on up here. You know what? Let me let the cats out. Hold on again. Don't go anywhere. I'll be right back. Enjoy the stars. All right, you ready to go? Are you ready to get out? Here. Let me go. Are you going to go? You're just going to look at me. Okay, I got to shut the door though because they have the TV on. Are you going? Oh, you like the stars. She likes the stars. She's checking out the stars along with us. This is too funny. Okay, Zoe. Okay, so All right, Zoe doesn't want to leave the star room. She is, you can't see her. She's really dark. She's over there. As soon as I opened the door, she was like just watching the stars move about in the room. Okay, so anyway, so a place where you could go and congregate and be with other people is, I think that's where I was at. So my whole point of that though is that when you're around people who don't think that they're hearing, who don't think that they're getting information, they're just not cognizant of it many times, because there's lots of folks I've been with where they'll say something and you just know there's just this thing that occurs, this understanding, and they're getting it and they're repeating it, and it's information that they're getting, whether you want to call the information's coming from source or maybe a guide or a loved one, who knows, the astral realm is big. And so the training in that is typically that you want to make sure that, you're very particular and very specific as to who you, hold on, there we go, as to who you allow into your space when you communicate. Typically, that realm, there can be a lot of mischievous actions and activities and informations, like liars, just it's a realm. I just figured, there's so many different ways that you have to tweak the information that comes in, not to mention understanding the difference between what you're hearing, like is it mine or is it divine, is it mine or is it somebody else's in this other realm possibly. I just thought, you know what, I'm just going to shoot for the top. Just shoot for the top. And in some of the teachings in the classes, not necessarily that I've taught, but that I've been like, a student of, that is the teaching that the planetary bodies and the emanations, the information that the planets, the impressions that they throw down on us, it's knowledge. There's the cat again. I'm going to have to boot them out for good. Okay, she's ready to get out. Hold on one last time. Thank you for being so patient. Okay, Zoe, you ready to leave? Come on. There you go. There you go. Get the tail out. I got it shut, though. We're on a line. We don't want to get a copyright issue for having some stuff on in the background. Okay, so anyhow, it just seemed more sensible to me to just shoot for the top, just get information from the highest possible source that you could. And so, but there are times when stuff comes through, and it comes through, and if someone's coming through, then somebody needs to hear it, and I don't have a problem with that. I just I really do like being a part of that process, but everybody's process, the way they hear the information that comes in is going to be different. And that's the thing I love about astrology, because when I can see somebody's chart, when I can see somebody on paper, I can see, right? Not because I'm like all magical G, but it shows where their strengths are, right? Like whether you're got a lot of air in your chart or water or earth, okay? You see these things and you realize, okay, so this person's going to feel this way, or this person's going to receive this way. You can see all that on paper. And so it's fascinating because it shows you, like people's, like we see these amazing people do amazing things that we think, I could never, ever do that in a million years, or wow, how do they do that? Well, what happens is once you see them on paper, it kind of takes the awe away. It takes the, oh my gosh, it kind of takes that out of it. You look at them on paper and you think, okay, well, yeah, this is who they are. And so what I love about that is it's a humbling experience, because then we all become just energy. And in essence, that is all we are. I know we get caught up in our personalities, in our bodies, in our material, and the physical. But the reality is, the only thing that truly is energy. Because energy is the one thing that never disappears. What does it do? What does energy do? And what does it do, right? It just changes shape. It just transforms. It never disappears, okay? It's the material, it's the physical, right? That rusts, that fades, that leaves us over time, and it loses value over time. And it's something that we can try to take it with us. We can try to drag our favorite things into the next phase of of our reality once we leave this physical body, but we typically can't do much more than that, right? It's really, that stuff doesn't come with us. I am having the worst. Every time I try to do a live, crap just falls apart. Like, I have a backup light for when this one decides to go on me, because I used it last time and it went, and this one, for the second time now, has already just fell to the ground. All right, so we will just leave this. I don't know where the hell we'll put it. Anyway, so let me see. I wanted to, Classy Cookery. Hey, Classy, thank you for stopping in. Let me do a little thing through all the channels here real quick, because I don't think I got to do that. So Tanisha Armstrong, if you don't know who Tanisha is, check out her channel. For anybody, for a lot of these people here are YouTubers with other channels, but check out Tanisha. She does a lot of response and reaction videos. She does food reviews. She's always switching it up. And the thing about Tanisha, you're always going to hear the truth from her. That girl keeps it real, which is why I like her a whole lot. Susie Rosa, I don't think you have a channel. I think you're just here as a viewer, which, girl, you're the viewer I want. Nothing against fellow YouTubers, nothing at all. But as any other fellow YouTuber knows, to have more YouTube neighbors means more work. So ultimately, for all of us here, our real goal is to get that niche, is to find those viewers that you don't have, that don't create more work for you, right? That's your real goal. But in the meantime, we have to, we understand that our community isn't just those people, but it's also also our YouTube neighbors. So this platform is for everybody. This live is for all of us, okay? And so I don't want anybody to feel like they don't belong. Here, you are all stars, all right? So Team Gravely, Team Gravely has a whole crew of people. They're huge. They do they do gaming. They do food. They do groceries, cooking, recipes, everything. You name it. Inspirational. Miss Nita Boo does a lot of inspirational stuff, which I absolutely love. Her inspirational stuff. She's got beautiful quotes to music. Just amazing stuff there. Sheila's vlogs. Sheila is in Korea. Sheila is typically from Zimbabwe. She is an amazing human being. Her channel, you're going to see Korean food. She does a lot of mukbangs. She's doing recently, which I just got my sushi rolling mats in, Sheila. I just got them in today, so I haven't had a chance to use them yet, but I will, and I'm going to be turning your video on because I've never rolled my own sushi at home, or gimbap. I think that's Gimbap, gimbap. Basically, Sheila taught me the difference is that sushi includes raw fish, where gimbap, even though it may look the same, right? You've got the seaweed down, you've got the rice, you've got the, cucumbers or carrots or whatever you want. Gimbap has no raw fish in it. It actually has, maybe you have like me, I'm going to do like smoked salmon in mine, right? So that'll be technically gimbap. But Sheila's got, she's in Korea, and she does lots of very interesting, culturally educational stuff. And yeah, she's a brain. So go check her out. Tanisha, Subliminal Radio. Check out Subliminal Radio, folks. If you don't know who Subliminal Radio is, Subliminal Radio, if you want to have positivity and optimism coming in to you, right? If you want to hear about, basically, it's what it says it is, Subliminal Radio. You tune in, you listen to a video, or you turn it on and let it while you're sleeping. Let it basically program you for optimism, for beauty, for peace, for abundance and prosperity, for good health. She's got, or he's got, I'm not sure, I've never met the person. Again, we all don't really know each other. We just kind of call each other the YouTube neighbors, but it's a YouTube family, and that channel has a energy that I love. We get along really well. We reciprocate, can't say enough about Subliminal Radio. So go check that channel out. And let me see here. I know there's more people. I think I saw Tam and, I know I scrolled all the way down, so forgive me. Tam and Kel, they're hilarious. They're animal lovers. And obviously, if you've been looking at all astrology stuff lately, you see that I'm a big animal lover. And I don't love just cats. It just happens that cats are what I live with. Or they, I live with them, they live with me. Where I'm at right now, I'm actually new here. I'm the newbie in this household. I came here about 3 years ago, and 3 years ago. I had no intentions of staying here. I was helping my mom out, right? I'm in Illinois right now, and I was trying to get my mom out of Illinois and get her moved off to Arizona. And some friends of mine have a house here, and they were like, you can stay here while you're trying to get your mom and all her stuff shifted, right? Literally, my mom's got this in the house in Orland where my mom's house is. It's still there. Anyway, it's kind of sort of a nightmare, but I don't want to get into all that here. I want to get into talking about you guys, okay? I feel like I've been talking about myself the entire time, and that I swear that's not what I'm trying to do. So Tanisha's going to sleep. Good night, Tanisha. Lou Esh, she thinks they're lasers. Yeah, right. She thinks they're lasers per the littles. Yes, she does. She was chasing them. How you doing, Lou S? Where are you at, Lou S? You gotta chime in where you're from and what time is it, because that works out well. That lets everybody see what a universal community we are. That we're from all over the place, which is awesome. Thank you, Subliminal. Good night to Tanisha. Universal Voice. What's up, Universal? Glad you could make it. No, you didn't miss anything. I'm still here. You know how it goes. The first half hour, first hour, you're just warming up. Just warming up. Shit's falling off the walls. I had the cats bouncing off the walls in the room earlier. Yeah, they were chasing the stars. What time is it where you're at, Universal, and where are you? Cassie Mulligan, girl, where and how have you been? Cassie, I am so glad to see you here. I can't even tell you. You've been to camp. That makes me feel so good to see someone from camp here, Cassie. You have no idea. I miss camp so much. Can't go there because, well, everybody's on lockdown. But the fact that you've been there, even though I didn't meet you there, but you met my partner on the Allastrology partner. And so I'm so thrilled that you're here. So we're all chiming in like where we're at watching the live. I'm not asking for your house address, okay? We don't want to know that. We're trying to create community here. We're trying to show that we got people from all over the world. We got Korea in the house. We've got, I believe, Subliminal, you're from Nevada. We've got Classy Cookery, which is on the West Coast. I think we've got Arizona. We've got the Philippines usually. India's in the house. I think Universal Voice is from India. SRF, yay, SRF. SRF is in the house, yay. 9:30 in the morning, Universal Voice. Cassie's in Toledo, Ohio. It's 11:09 p.m. Okay, Cassie, so yeah, you're about an hour off from me. I've got 10 o'clock at night. I found that the weekend nighttime is the best time for everybody. Yeah. Yeah, not like at 7 o'clock at night when people are actually doing something. It's when people aren't doing anything. So it's so wild. I know I mentioned this in my last live last week that I got this really strong visual like over a year ago. Maybe it was 2 years ago. Yeah, it was actually. It was before I started YouTube. It was the weirdest thing. I was sitting out there on the computer. I was probably filling out a resume or some crap. I don't remember what I was doing. And I had this crazy strong visual where I was just sitting here in front of the computer screen and doing what I'm doing exactly right now, which is a live with people. But it was nighttime because my housemates were asleep. I know I didn't finish my story about how I ended up being here, but anyway, I was helping my mom and all that. And so that was like 2, 3 years ago. And then a few other things have happened. Anyhow, so this is where I'm at right now. And the cats were here before me. I'm the newbie in the household. So, yeah, I'm really honored that the cats get along with me and accepted me so well. But I'm an animal person. I'm not just a cat person. I did volunteer with cats for a couple of years. I just love animals. I love animals, but I really love the winged beings. We get along really well. Classy Cookery, yes. Your background always admirable. Thank you. Universal, are you in India? Remind me again if you're in India. I think you are, because especially since that time I saw that you were on it. I can't get my comments to show up. Susie Rosa, I used to live in Illinois too. Get out of here. Elgin, no way. You're in Mexico City right now and get out of here. That's so crazy. See what a small world. Marilyn, girl, yes, another person from camp, yes. You guys are blowing, you're making my night. I took a mediumship class online via camp. How did it go, Cassie? I would love to hear about that. Hello, Marilyn from Southern Indiana. Marilyn, how are you? What time is it where you're at? Well, we all know, right? Southern Indiana, what are you, an hour off from us? This is so cool. I'm so happy. Make sure you guys thumb up and share. Hit that arrow, share it out to people. It's so awesome. I took a mediumship class online via Chesterfield the other day. I'm hoping transit Pluto on my moon means I'll become more psychic. You know what, Cassie? It's funny because right before I came in here to do this live, I kept hearing Pluto really strong in my head. got to address Pluto. Got to talk about Pluto tonight. The thing is, on these lives, for whatever reason, this is not my laptop I'm on, and I'm going to have to get it all tweaked and worked out, but I can't pull up any of my accounts for whatever reason. I have the passwords, and it's telling me that they're invalid. So whatever, we're going to talk about Pluto, but all I have in front of me is an ephemeris for the current moment right now. And what I like, because I think this is how it is supposed to be, I'm supposed to be bringing in messages from the stars to you guys anyway. So that's what we're going to do. So, oh my God, I'm here, California G. Classy cookery. All right, California, West Coast is in the house. Marilyn, you got to get yourself a YouTube channel. This person on here, folks, it says Marilyn H. This woman bakes and bakes good stuff. And she's got a business. It's for sale. You can buy it and she ships, and I'm loving that. Got an order from her about a year ago. Still waiting. Would love to have some more. Absolutely. We got to get our order together for her. Okay, so if there's anybody's comments that I didn't see, forgive me. All right. SRF, how are you, girl? How are you doing? It's so awkward. I can't stand that I have to scroll over here because this laptop. I can't see you guys on here for some reason. And I used this last time, and it won't let me. Maybe if I click, nope. This laptop does not like me. I think that's what it is. I really do. You know what it is too? I'm not supposed to be relying on anything. I'm really supposed to just sit. And I knew this, but I'm stubborn. Okay, I have a little bit of Taurian energy, and I'm supposed to literally just tell you what comes through. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to stick to the program. Problem is, I can't tell you if I don't see you're here. So you got to keep commenting so I know you're here, because I can't read my comments. I can only read what's just been recently typed. How does that sound? Yeah. Marilyn, I have to check with you. Yeah, Classy Cookery and Marilyn, that's right. You both do cooking and baking. Yeah, see, I do have that, Cassie. That's the one dang thing I can get to come up is the current transits, right? But the thing about Pluto, Pluto at 25 degrees. Pluto's important because Pluto, okay, especially, now I keep saying especially for people that live in the United States, but here's the deal. Whatever happens in the U.S. affects the rest of the world, okay? So ultimately, this is important for everybody. The United States is experiencing their Pluto return, okay? If you guys want to see a video of that with the chart, I can do that, okay? I've already done some videos in the past that reference it. It shows I've done tons of videos with the United States chart. The United States Pluto is at 27 degrees of Capricorn, okay? The United States Pluto is 27 degrees Capricorn. The transiting Pluto, that's what Cassie's putting in here, which is the transiting Pluto. And when I say transiting, all that means is the current planets up in the sky. All right, that's all transiting means, and where they're moving to and from. And so Pluto is at 25 degrees, right? Right now, Pluto literally is 2549, which actually is 26 degrees. So this means, right, 2549 is 26 degrees, which means Pluto's 26. It's a degree away from the U.S.'s Pluto. Now with Pluto, because it's such a slow planet, all right, it's itty bitty, it's very tiny, right? Can't you see it? Look. Can't you see it out there? It's very tiny. But the thing about Pluto is it's powerful as hell. It is powerful as hell. When I woke up yesterday morning, it was yesterday morning and going to sleep last night, like Pluto was bearing down in my brain. And the closer that stuff gets, the more relevant it becomes. I don't have a choice. I wake up and it's in my head. Has any of you guys ever had that? And maybe you've had it, but you can't relate it to a planet. I've seen comments, Marilyn, I've seen you make comments about where's whatever going on right now because I woke up or I had this kind of a dream. Marilyn, I know you're a Taurus moon, and so that makes you sensitive to these things, right? We talked a lot about Taurus last Saturday because we had some Taurians on here. I've had a full house. My daughter's power, oh no. My daughter's power was out. So 3 kids, 3 dogs, and her hubby. Oh my gosh. Is she in Texas? Do you have family in Texas, SRF? Is that what you're talking about? Because you're in Ohio. Oh wait, no. This is just from the snowstorm in general, because God knows the Midwest got slammed. Pluto. Thank you, Classy Cookery. Well, SRF, I'm going to be doing a full moon ceremony, and this isn't just for SRF, this is for everybody. The full moon is on the 27th and 27th of February. The video is already out for it. I have it up. If you haven't watched it, you know, there's going to be some important things to hear about in there. It's a Virgo full moon, okay? So we're going to talk about that because it's a Virgo full moon. Virgo is an earth sign, okay? And that's important because that Pluto, that powerful Pluto, and it being a part of the United States Pluto return, what's good to know is that Virgo energy is earth. Well, that Capricorn, that Pluto in Capricorn is also earth. So this means it's going to be compatible. It's trine energy for Virgo energy, okay? So it's a transformation, and and we know we've been experiencing this. This all began in 2020 with a Virgo full moon. This is when the pandemic was like, this is when the pandemic came to our awareness, all right? Issues about our hygiene, about washing hands, issues about our health, right? And that is what that's Virgo. That's the sign of Virgo. It's all about health. But it's routines. It's not just health, but it's your health routine. It's your health habits. It's also your work habits, okay? So keep all of this in mind. So it's part of what you do, that's part of your everyday routine. And for most folks, the job, the job, is part of their daily routine, right? At least 5 days out of the week, typically. And if that means and even if it means you're not leaving the house, right? Especially now, a lot of folks, they're working in the house. Well, that's, you know, whether you work outside the house, in the house, doesn't matter. Virgo, right, is part of that. And that Virgo energy being trined by the Pluto energy is important. It's a good thing. It's a good thing. Trines mean they add ease, and that's good to know. So let me scroll again and see if we can see what we got going on here. Yes, yes, yes. I saw someone that said, okay, so SRF, your family's in Kentucky. Man, you know, when I started hearing about the people in Texas and what they were going through, and gosh, some of the other stuff, like, yeah, anyway, a lot of big changes. It's through these catastrophes, whether it was, you know, the pandemic, you know, the C word that I can't say, the ugly bug, right? The disease, we'll just say, that's caused the pandemic and the lockdowns. It's not just so much about that, but it's how the people who are in charge and who are responsible, it's how they respond or don't respond, right? It's the way they react or respond. It's the way they help or don't help those who are in need, and that's important. And through those experiences and the tragedies, we then find out more closely what we value, because we can't forget about Uranus. Uranus is in the sign of Taurus. I talked a lot about this in the last live, and I'm going to touch on it a little bit again because of the fact that it's Earth energy, okay? So think about this. You got Pluto in an Earth sign. You've got Uranus in an Earth sign, okay? Now remember, Uranus we say is shock and surprises, but it is also those in charge, okay? It's also science, all right? It's also astrology. Can't forget that. It's fascinating to keep all those things in mind. And the 10 degrees of Taurus is a big deal, okay? This is an eclipse point, all right? Not a lot of people have been talking about it. For whatever reason, it came up on my radar like 6 months ago. It kept, you know, they kept telling me, like the energy kept saying, you need to talk about this, you need to talk about this, this is important. Because for people who have their own charts and you know where that is for you, all you got to do is see if anything squares that or if anything trines it. And then you'll have a better understanding of if this is going to, like how this is going to play out in your life. Is it going to be good, or is it going to be another difficulty that you have to deal with? But so my friend told me about Texas. All I can say is I pray for them. Absolutely. I've been hearing, God, just some horrific things about what they're going through. I heard recently a mall. Now I want you to all keep this in mind, a mall, right? You know how big a mall is. They've opened their doors up to the public so that they can have a place that was warm, a place that had running water, electricity, and heat. so that because people were lighting fires in their homes to keep warm because they had no electricity. Well, no electricity, they had no heat. They're all electric out there, right? So they're building these fires in the house, homes that don't have fireplaces, that aren't built for this. So there's no fireplace means you have no exhaust system set up, which means people are dying of smoke inhalation, right? Just unfortunate stuff. People who are faced with circumstances they don't normally have to deal with. And, that's what your government's for. That is what your government is supposed to be for. They're to step in and help you in those sort of times. And so as a community here, we will pray, we will hold ceremony, because that's what I do. That's just what works best for me. It's not to put anybody else's, whatever your religion is, whatever your belief is, folks, in the end, it's all the same, right? The differences in the ceremonies, the rituals, the wording, I don't mean to offend anybody, but it just comes down to it's a culture. And in your different culture, in your upbringing, we relate and we call things by different names, okay? And that is my understanding of it, all right? And that's how I look at it, and this is why I want this to be a space where it's all-inclusive for all of us, regardless of what our religious or cultural background may be. I want it to be a safe spot for us all to be able to communicate and be together. So, full moon video, watching it again. Yeah, good idea. So thank goodness, maybe that's why I'm starting to cleaning my house. Yeah, Cassie, the house clean. Maria's here. Hey, Maria, how are you, lady? Maria, tell us where you're from and what time it is. I always forget where she's from. She came in last time, and I can't remember if it's. I'm calling her Maria Fontanos. I can say her last name easier than her first. Mercury retrograde is over, folks. Hello, hallelujah, right? Mercury retrograde is over. It ended today, like officially tonight at 7:30. Only your crazy astrologer friends know that. Mercury retrograde ended tonight at 7:30 Central Standard Time. So what that means is, like us being here tonight is pretty awesome because it's in Gemini, right? The moon is in Gemini. Mercury's in an air sign, it's in Aquarius. So this all trines, right? It's all doing beautiful. Like right now, we've got like Mercury at 11. It says that the moon is at 17 right now. We've got Venus at 24, all in air signs. So it's like the camaraderie, the wanting to be together, the ability to communicate digitally. The support is here, right? We've got Jupiter in air. We've got Saturn in air. And the North Nodes, right? Right now we have the moon trining the North Node, which is a perfect time. Yeah, I did look at this before. I looked at this yesterday. I'm like, okay, this Saturday would be another good Saturday. What my hope is to at least have one day a week where I, come hell or high water, I'm here for you guys, that I can do the live and I'll be here. Now, because of where I live, I am not the only person here, right? I have to, I have 2 housemates and 2 cats. And provided everything goes normal, and that would mean like some sort of a crazy emergency or something, which is a possibility because the room I'm in is, it's an art studio because the person's equipment I'm using is an art teacher and she teaches art online digitally, right? So, every once in a while, and she teaches for a university, which means there are deadlines. It's not like she has, like her, anyway. There are deadlines, and students sometimes hit her up at all different hours and stuff. But she has told me that Saturday nights for her are, she's taking Saturday nights off, which means the Star Room can be available for Saturday nights. So you guys let me know in the comments if that's good for you. So far, everyone that's here, I'm thrilled that you guys are here. Oh, God, yeah, no water. God, I can't imagine. Thank goodness, maybe that's why I'm starting to clean, yes. I know, right? Could you imagine not having water? No, I can't imagine any of these things, and I don't ever want to have to. And that's why I'm often saying, like, change is a guarantee. It's always going to come because this is part of life. But just pray that when change comes to you, that it comes in a gentle way, that it comes in a gentle way. I was taught that by the Navajo a long time ago. They always used to say that, and when they said it, I thought, they're genius because they know change is part of life, but always ask that change come in a gentle way. And that also refers back to that saying, which is Are you the kind of person that needs a deer that comes through the windshield? Are you the kind of person that just needs the deer that you can see, out in the woods, and you get the message, you get the idea, you know what it means, and you're like, okay, I got it. I don't need you to come through my windshield, right? I know that might seem like it's a bit of a stretch, but it's really not. It's really, truly not. Animals bring messages, okay, whether they're winged beings or two-legged, four-legged, whatever. They bring messages, and the difference is whether we know what those messages are and what it's going to be. So, okay, I know I'm getting distracted because I'm looking for additional battery power for my lights. So anyhow, let me get to Pluto again. Pluto is about change, but it's not just like, oh, we're not going to have, the company tomorrow night. We're having company next week. It's not that kind of a change. No, Pluto is deeper. Pluto is making changes at the very root level, okay? So when we say that the United States is having a Pluto return, okay, think about this. This means that wherever Pluto was when the United States was founded, right? And we don't have to get into the timing and the dates and all that. But anyway, when that time was, the position of Pluto was at 27 degrees. All right, so this is their position for their natal Pluto. So that means Pluto's gone all the way around and is coming back. So wherever Pluto went in the United States chart, it automatically made changes and transformations. And Pluto represents power. All right, so in the world that we live in right now, we are very aware of those that are in power, those that are in power in the way they've used their power, those that are in power and, choose, choose to use their power in certain ways. So it's not just about the fact that they're big and powerful, because in Capricorn, it really does represent those that are in power, that have been within a system that's been set up over a long period of time, a structured system. So this means your government, your churches, anything that's been a part of your life, that's been a part of society, that's been a structure, a long-standing structure. And yes, this does include our physical long-standing structures, right? So when we think about because Capricorn energy is very much about boss energy, big business, and money. So we think about, our economy, okay, and what is our economy based in, right? And what affects our economy, and how does our economy grow? And what do we, our very dollar is a material thing, isn't it, right? And that our dollar isn't based on gold anymore like it used to be at one time. I know. So all of that's changing, and it is changing, and it's supposed to change. It's supposed to change. But keep in mind that when Pluto makes changes, it goes really slow. It's very gradual. Okay, it's not a quick thing. It's not like you go to bed and you wake up and all of a sudden you got different clothes on, your spouse is different. No, it's not like that. It's very slow, but it's slow and deep. It's like they say, like those deep waters, they're really deep. And it's more still and silent at that root level. And that's literally it. You think about the weeds in the garden, and if you don't pull them out by the root level, at the root level, they just grow right back. Well, that's why Pluto insists on stuff being torn out at the root level, because it doesn't want for the same thing to keep growing. It wants fresh growth. It wants a completely different new thing. Think of Pluto as the phoenix rising. Okay, the phoenix rising is all about, there's fire, there's ashes, and then all of a sudden, out of those ashes, something new is born, something different, and something better, because the old way, the old structure doesn't work anymore. It's not working anymore. And so for the United States, having a Pluto return means the people are no longer being represented. Okay, this is a time when I've been calling it, I've been dubbing this, seriously, folks, I've been dubbing it as like Civil War Part 2 and the the Revolution Part 2. It's like a continuation, because there's different levels of growth, right? You can only do so much growing. Think about yourself in your own life. Can you do things Can you be who you want to be? Like you look at others and you hear stories and you're like, God, I want to be like that person, or God, I want to reach this goal. It doesn't happen overnight. It happens over time. And many of the timing and the sequences, the way things occur, has nothing to do necessarily. It's very complicated, is what I'm trying to say. It's very complicated. It's not just about your timing. There's a whole other ton of layers of things to take into account as far as how that timing of events happens and the growth. So when we think about the nation, when we think about this country and all the people that it has in it, and we think about how far we've come, and we think about how much further we have to go, right? For everybody to be treated as equals, for everybody to be able to be seen and heard and respected and honored as a living being, just as they are for who they are, that day is coming. But we all know that this country hasn't really got there yet, right? There's a lot of growing up it still needs to do. And this is so true. We're the youngest country. We're babies, right? We're absolute babies, right? The founding of our country, we're babies, right? We look to the ancients. We look to other cultures and civilizations, and I have learned the most from them, right? To the ancient ones had all the knowledge, and because they're the ancient ones, they've got it all and they've documented it. And so it's from their teachings, it's from that knowledge, it's from their way of being that we're learning. Now, that's not to say that they had it all figured out. No, right? Anybody could argue and say, well, gee, you're crazy because they used to do this and this. They used to have sacrifices. They used to do all this other crazy stuff. I get it. I understand. My point is, we have a long way to go. We have a long way to go. The United States is very young. And if, the pandemic was the beginning, well, actually it wasn't. George Floyd was the beginning. George Floyd was the beginning of what was coming. It showed the imbalance of equality that still exists based on looks, okay? And I know I can say this with such confidence, right? Because when I look at the United States chart, it has right on its ascendant. By the way, if you're new, the ascendant means it's your appearance. It's how you appear to the world. It's when somebody looks at you and they get like this first idea of what you look like. That's the ascendant. And on the U.S.'s ascendant is Sagittarius. Well, Sagittarius is the sign of the foreigner. That's what's on the United States ascendant. So we're supposed to look like we weren't from here. We're supposed to look that way, which means we're supposed to look varied. We're supposed to look different. We're not supposed to be cookie cutter. We're supposed to be unique individuals, and we're supposed to have different beliefs. We are supposed to have different beliefs and different religions, and we're supposed to have differences, right? We are supposed to have these differences, and we are supposed to be that place because that's what's on their ascendant, right? Now, this may sound crazy. It might sound like way left field or, whatever, but just understand that we're growing. That's my whole point. We're growing. And then when I refer back to George Floyd, that happened in the United States fourth house at home. That event, there was Mars down there, there was Chiron down there, and it was all about a hurt over my appearance, a hurt about my body. That's what happened. That's where it was in the stars. That's what the energy said. It was a hurt that was occurring over someone's body, and not necessarily the event of what happened to him, but because of someone's appearance. That's what it was about. And the United States has an issue about that. It's in the United States chart. They have an issue about, oh, I should look a certain way. I should look like this. The United States has a mental issue about that. And they're learning how to grow up when it comes to that. Because it's Aries in the fourth house, okay? Arian energy is very immature. And that's not being mean, okay? I'm saying that in a kind way. And I say this confidently because we all have Aryan energy somewhere in our life. You do. I do. We all do. I do. And I own up to it right off the bat. That's why I speak confidently about it. I've seen the immaturity of my Aryan energy. I have multiple planets. I mean, I have a lot in Aries. As much as I have in Taurus, I have just as much in Aryan energy, believe it or not. And so I see it and I realize how not just immature, but how it wants to react very quickly without thinking first. And so that's your Aryan energy. And you have this somewhere in your life. So the United States going through Susie Rosa, you know a whole lot about astrology. How awesome. I'm honored to have you here. Great, great, great. And I will get to your comment. But the United States, having that Pluto coming home means, as it's transited around its chart, all right, it means that it's changed and transformed everything, and it's ready to change and transform again and go up to the next level. It's ready to graduate, okay? So that's a big deal, because what we can expect is a change in our money, a change in our monetary system, okay? Does that mean digital money? Does that mean Bitcoin? I don't have all those detailed answers. I just know that that change is coming, okay? Does that mean a complete ending of cash? I don't have those answers. The only answer that I do know of is you should expect a change, okay? You should definitely expect a change. And this is, it's been building, it's been coming. The change began the minute the dollar was no longer actually supported, was no longer grounded in gold like it used to be. That's really when that change began. But we'll see what happens. The thing is that you just don't lose hope, because there's going to be a way. There's always a way. We are supported by all the planets. And the changes and the stress and the squares that come, those actually give us the most growth. I know we love the trines, and I'm always saying, okay, where's the trines? We've got to look for the easy way. But we don't grow during ease. We just don't. We never do. And the trines are when you get to take a break. It's when you get to rest. It's when you get to relax. A trine is when you don't have to pedal uphill on the bicycle anymore. A trine is when you're going downhill and you get to coast. That's what a trine is. You get to just coast, and that's when you take vacation. That's when you take it easy. That's when you rejuvenate. That's the trine energy. And when you rejuvenate, you're vacationing, right? Yeah. You're not necessarily, it's when you get faced with, fire by friction. I'm not saying I'm all for pain and suffering, because I'm not. But I do know that we grow when we're under stress. Think about the diamond. Okay, there's a lot of really good examples you can give, and please give me the examples. Come in with the examples, and let me hear what you're saying about change and how it is that you change, how it is that you grow, I should say, because when we grow, it typically when I talk about that diamond, a diamond is formed under pressure. Well, we are these diamonds. We are these stars. We are star seeds. Every single solitary one of us. Every single being. Every single being. Every single being, right? Star seeds. And we have all sorts of stars here tonight. So, Susie, we've got you down talking about Pluto squaring my moon. Oh. So, Pluto, deep transformations. I want to mention this, Susie. Well, for everybody too, but Pluto is also fear, okay? Pluto is fear. Keep this in mind. And the reason it's fear is because it's deep and below the surface, all right? And typically, you can't look at fear. Typically, you can't look at it and be like, that's fear, right? No, fear is something that's hidden within you, and you don't realize it's there until something happens. And all of a sudden, it rises up, and it's like, holy crap. All of a sudden, there's this fear that you feel, all right? It's a feeling. It's a deep feeling. It's a powerful feeling. And what do we say? It's not even about what we say. What do you know about fear? Fear can grip you, can stop you, can stall you from growth. Fear can block the light, right? And what is the teaching? To understand that the only power fear has is literally your fear of the fear. Okay? Because once you get beyond it, once you walk through that fearful door, once you get past it, you realize you survived. You realize you made it. You realize your fear was way stronger than the actual thing that you feared. Okay? So if you've got, Susie, Pluto squaring your moon is your emotions. So this is difficult, right? Because you've got Pluto, which represents fear, squaring your moon. The moon represents emotions, and emotions are typically going to be about your family, about home, feminine energy as well. So it's mother energy. So whether it's the mother wound, whether it's issues about you being a mom, whether it's issues about your mother, this could be ancestral fear, ancestral lineage, like ancestors coming in. That's the sign, like the moon sign. It's all about your lineage, your past, your history. It's about a reflection, okay? It's a reflection of that mother energy. Venus and Jupiter in my ascendant, Libra at 26 degrees. Your ascendant's at 26 degrees of Libra. Okay, girl, so if your ascendant's at 26 degrees Libra, you don't just have Pluto squaring your moon. Pluto's at 26 degrees in Capricorn right now. So you have Pluto squaring your ascendant as well. So you have a T-square? I'm assuming you have a T-square that you're facing, Susie. That's hard. T-squares are hard. T-squares are no joke. No joke. I'm going to tell you what I do when things get really tough. When my injury occurred, I had, it was a big deal. I had the nodes, the moon's nodes, squaring my natal nodes, okay? And then on top of a great square, right, with the moon's nodes squaring my natal nodes, transiting nodes squaring my natal nodes, I then had 3 T-squares compounded on top of that at the same time. Oh, these were dark days. It was dark. I was in a lot of physical pain, and my source of light and hope, first of all, was the fact that I had done a lot of mind training in the past. And when I say mind training, a great teacher once taught me that if you train your mind to stay optimistic and positive, even though you may not feel that way, but if you train your mind to do that, even when it seems as though life is chummy and wonderful and good, that's the time to do it. Keep doing that and understand that what you're doing, whether you're talking and speaking it out loud or sharing it with other people, understand that, whether you're writing or vlogging it, others may get it, may not get it. It may feel like overkill to them. They may be like, okay, enough already. And that's fine. Understand that when we mind train, because that's what you do when you start doing that, you start training your mind to be focused on the good, to be focused on the positive, to be focused on the optimism, to understand that good is at the back of everything and being. And this, I believe 100% wholeheartedly. So when I was going through a lot of physical pain, and I'm talking, I call it shotgun pain. Maybe I shouldn't use the word shotgun, but I've kind of adopted the word shotgun because I don't want people to think that I was, yes, it was very dark. No, I was not going to go out and get a handgun and blow my brains out, but it was shotgun pain. It was like, okay, somebody please shoot me, right? It was dark. And I knew change was a guarantee. I knew change was a guarantee because that's what astrology promises, that you can literally visually see that change is a-coming, okay? That whatever you're experiencing right now, no matter how dark it is, it's going to change, okay? And I've known a lot of people who've been through some really dark days. And so having Pluto part of a T-square is difficult, okay? Having it affect family, having it affect yourself, these are really trying times. And the best thing to do is to have others in your life be aware that you're going through trying times. Okay, that's important, number one. It's important because people, when they don't know what you're going through, a lot of people, instead of saying, well, gee, I don't know what that person's going through. No, people tend to be really quick and rash, and they be judgmental. They're like, okay, well, I haven't heard from that person, and they get really, just very. They're just not understanding enough. So when you let people know what you're going through, and it doesn't mean you got to tell them your whole story. You just say, you know what, there's a lot of stress at home right now, right? Or there's a lot of stress within the family, or there's a lot of stress at my job, or there's, I'm dealing with, there's a lot, I like to say, there's a lot on my plate right now, because I'm a pretty private person, believe it or not. I know there's probably some people on the other end laughing at that comment, but typically, however you got to convey it. Let them know there's a lot going on. And then, again, let others know who, I'm not going to say like myself, but yes, letting someone like me know to include you in our ceremony is a big deal. We've gotten a lot of good responses from people because it's not just me. When the ceremony is held, when I say it's not just me, it literally is just me and one other person performing the ceremony. And one day when the pandemic no longer is and when it's safe for us to congregate together, a big goal for me would be to have just a huge fire outdoors, and for people who want to be present, who want to come to a native ceremony, to be present and to come together as a community. But we can't do that right now, okay? So it's just me and one other person, my fire keeper. We create prayer ties, all right? And when the ceremony begins, there's a strong native element that comes in. But it's not just that. The archangels come in. Every ceremony, the archangels are present, okay? This is just because these are the energies that work with me. All right? That's all that's about. It's just what resonates with me. There's no wrong or right. And so I would urge you to because there's a lot of different people and there's a lot that's going on in my brain all the time. So prior to ceremony, which is new moons and full moons, reach out to me, right? Reach out to me in the comment section. Is the fastest way to get in touch with me is in the comment section, okay, under any video. Usually the most recent would be even faster, but you can always email me. And then you could be more specific if you want, but make sure that I have your name, okay, and what it is that you want in the prayer. Because we write it out. It's spoken, it's written out, and we can include you. That way you're not alone in this. There is a community of other people. I also have people who are involved with different churches. They're part of they're called prayer warriors. Your name can be given to them as well. So there's a whole chain, there's a whole community of people who understand there's this energy that exists that is not just about the individual. And when the thoughts and the concentrated effort, when we combine it, things happen, okay? Great, wonderful things happen, okay? It's not to say, hey, all of a sudden a big block in your life may disappear, but even if it brings you just moments of peace and knowing you're not alone in your struggle, that's what this community is about, okay? That's what we're here for, all right? And so I want you to be able to handle it and to get through it so you can come back and talk and say, gosh, thank you for the community. This was wonderful. And that's what I want to be able to do for people. I want to be able to do that. Gee, I will be gone. I have to go make dinner. Okay, go make dinner. I'm probably way behind on these anyway. Because, yeah, I am. I'm way behind. I'm sorry. I'm going to get to your comments. Lou, yes, to Saturday nights. Yes, Saturday nights. Excellent. I want to learn how to talk in front of a camera. Okay, that's a good one. We can talk about that. This is a good time. This is why, Classy, you've been starting. I know you're probably not here right now, which is fine, but I'm going to address this really quickly. Classy Cookery, if you have your birth information, get it to me. If you have your birth time, that would be the best. It would be most accurate. If not, anyway, get that to me. But what I will tell you right now, and for everybody listening, when you have energy in air, air is all about thinking and communicating. It's about taking what's here and being able to put it out here. So right off the top, Classy Cookery, there's going to be a fear, okay? There's a fear of not being, again, this is just what's coming in. I'm not making a judgment. This is what's coming in, so I'm speaking to you directly. There is a fear that comes through that starts here with you, but it stalls this process for you. The fear has a lot to do with, even though you've been here for however long you've been here speaking the language, there is a fear that you will be judged because of the way the words may come out of your mouth, okay? So understand something. Use this to your advantage, okay? This is G coming in right now saying, use this to your advantage, all right? Use to your advantage and share where you're from, what your culture is, because it will be embraced. It will be embraced that you're bringing in something unique and culturally rich. You do recipes, right? And, I don't want to learn an Asian recipe from a person who doesn't have any relatives that are from Asia or wherever you're from. And forgive me, I'm not trying to say that you're from Asia, but because I really don't even know. But whatever that is, right? You want it from the source, right? So whatever your heritage is, embrace your heritage, okay? Because this I can tell you and everybody listening, this time, okay, 2021, this year, this whole year, the rest of this whole year for all of us is about kicking off who you are uniquely. Okay, I've mentioned it in my other videos. I've mentioned like it's time to hoist up your freak flag. The whole point about the freak flag isn't to be mean. It's to say you're different, you're different, you're different, you're different, you're different, you're different, you're different. We're supposed to be different. We are supposed to be different. What did I say about the US's chart? We're supposed to be different, but this is for everywhere. All right. Our goal here, it's coming in again, the cosmic community. Our goal is that us on this planet, we cannot ascend. Okay, we can ascend higher. We can, but we're not going to be allowed into the cosmic community. And forgive me for this sounding. Some people are going to say, "Oh, geez, gone off the deep end." I haven't gone off the deep end. This is just what's coming through. And it's come through many times before, but it's coming back. We can ascend, but we cannot become members of the cosmic community until we learn how to be members, right? How to be co-creators with our fellow man, living with the planet that we're already on. Okay? Until we learn how to live with the earth. Okay? With the earth and all of its inhabitants. When that happens, we can become members of the cosmic community. And so in your mind, listening, whatever, when I say the words cosmic community, whatever that means for you in your mind. And I'm not going to go any further than that, okay? Because everybody has a different idea of what that means. Everybody has a different visual that pops into their brain as to, oh my gosh, what could that be? So I want you to just let it marinate, okay? Because all this energy, this Aquarius energy, is about the mind of God coming through. It is about talking and thinking and communicating. It's about letting it channel through you. It's about finding your voice. It is about expressing uniquely. Expressing uniquely. Think about that, okay? So when we talk about how do I talk in front of a camera, so for anybody here that's a YouTuber, forgive me because I'm having a hard time reading the comments. So please comment and let me know that you're here. Every now and then I can hit this thing over here and pull that up. I can't access it on the laptop for some crazy reason, and I think I just lost my, wow, shit. Just lost my exterior lighting. Hold on, I'm rocking and rolling right now. Okay, so just bear with me, but finding your unique voice. You need to be comfortable with who you are, okay? So if you aren't comfortable with who you are, it shows when someone's talking. And I understand this. I know maybe I seem comfortable, right? And I'm going to be honest, I'm not very comfortable being live if I'm talking technical astrology stuff. Because I'm so used to being, I'm quite anal about being accurate, which I think the viewer would be really grateful for. But that puts me a little bit on like, okay, gee, you don't get to edit this. You're on. And so you got to be spot on, right? But in all honesty, here I am trying to do that. And every time I try, I can't get a chart to come up. It won't let me log into my stuff. So all I can see are the planets at the moment, which is fine because that's all I need to see. Because what came through was that it's not necessarily about that. It's about messages coming through, whether it's from whoever my people will allow to come through on your end. That may sound very confusing. In mediumship, you have a whole crew that works for you that allows other people to come through. So if my people allow your people to come through, then we'll talk. Then they'll talk. Then you'll hear from them. But other than that, it's star messages, star readings, the universal voice of God, whatever that may be for you, to come through and to give you whatever information you need to hear right now. Okay? So this is only the second time we've done this. And so I am working out all the technical equipment and tweaking through all that stuff. So just have patience with me. And everybody's been really decent, and I'm grateful. So again, thumbs up the live, share out the live. That helps because I'm going to eventually start doing some really fun things for people so that they have more of an incentive to be here. So Classy, I hope you heard that, and if you didn't, you'll get to watch the replay on the recommendation. But with all the energy in Aquarius, with all the energy with the North nodes in Gemini, it is all about finding your voice and talking. And it's about the digital platform. Without a doubt, it's about the digital platform. So this is the time to do it, girl. This is the time to do it. You have the universe is supporting you. So I'm going to kind of scroll through these. A lot to know about Pluto. Absolutely, a lot to know about Pluto. A lot to know about all of it. I know, right? Subliminal. Ask for change to come in a gentle way. The wise ones, man. That's why I follow the teachings of the old wise ones. I heard Washington cross the Delaware about that time. Oh, wow, you totally lost me. I heard Washington cross the Delaware about that time. Are you talking about, Cassie, when the chart was done? I know the chart, because you may not be talking about this, but I know the chart of the United States when it was, I know there's a few charts out, first of all. I know there's a few different charts out. But I'm pretty sure the one that I follow, the one that I have found has been the most accurate, had to do with the signing of the Declaration of Independence, if that's what you were talking about. I don't know. And again, anyhow. I'm not the history buff. My partner, my astrology partner, who's the college educator, who's swamped with work, and that's why you haven't seen her, she's the historian. She's the buff. She knows, yeah, I leave that up to her. History's her thing, not mine. So where are we at here? I want to talk to everybody. I want everybody's voice to be heard. I heard Washington cross Delaware. SRF, what can I expect with Pluto scoring my Elgo? You know, Elgo, I know, Elgo is a big deal because Elgo, it's not talked about a lot. SRF, I'm really impressed that you know about Elgo. That's a fixed star. And if I expect, you said it's squaring. Well, here's a really simple way. A square is uncomfortable, okay? Pluto is fear, all right? And it's in Taurus, correct? I'm assuming that's, no, I'm sorry. I just said it's in Taurus. Can't believe I just said that. Pluto's in Capricorn. So, squaring my Elgo sun. Where, SRF, your sun then is either in Libra or in Aries. SRF, I didn't know. I really don't know what your sun sign is, SRF. But if it's squaring your sun, well, typically your sun is your vibrancy and your energy, okay? So what you can expect is Pluto squaring it, okay? Pluto's pretty powerful, and Pluto isn't fast, okay? So I would really like to take a deeper look for you, honestly, because hopefully there are other things in your chart that will balance that out. But if I just talk about this one thing, if I just talk about Pluto squaring it, which is why I don't like to do that for people, because all we're doing is talking about that one thing. You may have something else in your chart that can aid, that can help, that can add ease to your energy, because your sun is your vitality. Your sun is your ability to shine and to radiate. Your sun is the ability to express, right? Think about the sunlight. What does the sun do? It feeds you, okay? The sun is your energy. It's literally your energy. So if Pluto squares that, typically there could be a decline in energy. Typically you may need a lot more rest than normal. I would recommend, it's definitely a time to make sure that you are a lot of really quality self-care. I could be mistaken, SRF, but I think you're someone who spends a lot of time working. You work very hard. You work on your feet, if I'm not mistaken. And so what this means at this time, take a lot of breaks. Make sure you have good food. Make sure you're eliminating all extra stressors in your life, unnecessary stressors. Again, you may have other things in your chart that are trining or that are at least assisting with the energy thing. So, yeah, I don't know if your sun is in either Aries or Libra, so that would help me a little bit more. And again, your chart's not in front of me. The only thing to fear is fear itself. Yes, Louis, the only thing to fear is fear itself. It's really simple to say that. I know. I know fear. Because again, the planets just start talking like while I'm sleeping, and for no reason. Like in my sleep, all of a sudden I wake with the feeling of fear, and it's like, so anyway, that's part of this Pluto thing and me addressing Pluto. It's just Pluto's getting closer, and so we may be, instead of hearing about the changes coming, we're going to start seeing those changes coming, and I think we have. I without a doubt think we've been seeing the changes that are coming because again, Pluto is those in government who've been in power, and the abuse of power. And it's not just government, it's big business, it's big money. Those with big money who've been abusing power, okay? And so I can't help but, I mean, I've been saying this for a long time, and it's just like, I'm not about starting revolutions, okay? That's not me, but I do know that I am part of the 99% of people in the United States who are under a certain income gap, a certain income range, and I know we're not represented. And you don't have to be a rocket scientist to know that. 99% of us are no longer represented by our government, you know? And so I think all that has to change. And I think that not only is that changing, but we've been seeing how our businesses have been changing. We've been seeing how, any of the structures of your life, right? Things that, like I said, your brick and mortar businesses, your churches, just things that were established structures that had been around for a long time, going through deep changes, going through massive changes. And they're supposed to. Remember this part. Remember this part. I know there's a lot of people and hold on a minute, I have to adjust myself. I gotta make sure that anyway, so I've been seeing, maybe I should change this up a little bit. I've been seeing a lot of people for a while now who've been saying, I can't wait for things to go back the way they used to be. I can't wait for our normal to return. And while there's a part of that I totally embrace and I totally want the same as well, there's also another part of me that says, hell no, I do not want things to go back to the way that they were. Now, that may offend some people, that may upset some people, but I'm so about, okay, we are so our world that we live in, there's enough prosperity and abundance and goodness for everybody. It kills me to see people dying senselessly, starving, freezing, children going without, like all that crap. It's just like, come on. And I see families, this is what really bothers me, families with children where the dad works 3 or 4 jobs, he's educated, right? The mother's educated, and it's like they're struggling. Why? They did it all right. They went to school, they got educated, yet here they are, right? They're struggling big time. Why? Why is that necessary? What is with that? And it's not just these people. It's 99% of the population of this country, right? And so it's just like, there's a major imbalance. And so we need things to be balanced again. We need things, well, maybe they've never been balanced, but we need things to get balanced. We need a reorganization. We need our foundation to change. And it's a change that's for the best for all involved. Not just a few, but the best for all involved. Nobody should be enslaved. Nobody should be... Anyway, I'm not going to go any further on that because this is something I'll never stop talking about. But let me go. Christina, Peril Family Vlog. Christina, thank you for coming by, sister. Love having you here. Comment below where you're coming in from and what time it is. Where are you from and what time is it, sister? Go check Christina Peril out. So yeah, for those on here who are YouTubers, we've got Universal Voice, Christina Peril Family. We've got Subliminal Radio, Classy Cookery. These people, you guys, these guys are all my YouTube neighbors. Okay, and if I'm saying their names like this means these are people that are good. These are people that you support them. These are people who understand energy. You get what you gave, okay? You get what you gave, all right? And so at the top of this chat, I'm seeing Meritus Fontanosa. I'll call her Maria. Check Maria out. She's up and coming. She's brand new. She's young, but she's hungry, and she's honest. And the people that are here are honest. They wouldn't be here if they weren't honest, okay? And that's what we want, right? If you're a YouTuber who's in the grind, it's very difficult. And so, again, this platform is just as much for you. And so I'm just got to make sure I mention their names because they're here. And I want them to have a platform, to have a safe space. And this space is also for them. So, oh, Lou S., I'm just seeing something. I saw a report of a mattress slash furniture store opened up as a shelter in Texas. Yes, a mall opened up as a shelter in Texas. So this is what I love to see. You know, this is when, if you have the power, if you have the ability, if you have the capability. I heard somebody make that quote the other night too, because I do not watch the news, but my housemates do. And so they're always filling me in on stuff because it stresses me out and I can't handle it. So, but they'll fill me in on things. And they said that some mall in Texas was opening the mall's doors literally for the public to come in, to sleep, to have, you know, amenities, to use the facilities, to have a safe space, to have water, to have heat. And so that's, to me, that fills my heart up. It really does. It fills my heart up big time. It's like, yes, take care of your fellow man. You know, if you have the ability, help, put your hand out there and help them. Like, that's what you were given that for. If you have the ability to do good, if you've got it, why do you think, you know, that it's, the question is, you got it, what are you going to do with it now? How are you going to use it? That's with everything, right? Whatever it is that you have, whatever your capabilities are, you got it. Now what are you going to do with it? And you have free will to choose how you use it. There is no big finger of God coming down saying, no, you can't do that. Because isn't that a big question? People are like, well, I don't get this whole thing. Why would God allow somebody to do this? Why would God allow somebody to do that? Why would God allow such atrocities, right? You got to realize something. The free will factor, it's real, okay? Your ability to pick and choose has everything to do with your ability of being a human being. That is the difference. You have free will. You have consciousness and you have free will. And that's important. That's important. That's a gift. That is a gift, okay? And I'm not going to go on, I'm not going to say anything about, you know, heaven or hell. I have opinions, definitely, and I have very strong beliefs, actually. But that would have to be another time and another space. What I'm really hoping to do is off of here to then go to private chats, possibly on another platform, like on a Zoom platform, where people who have specific things they want to talk about, where we can be more focused and have those detailed, smaller group conversations, like maybe a group of 8 or less or something like that. Because then that will give people an even safer space to have a conversation. We can't have those kind of conversations here. And it doesn't mean, you know, like there's bad things I want to say or things that, you know, it's not that at all. It's more about having, just doing better, greater work because people are able to be more open and be safe and be comfortable. And I think that would do more good in a way. I mean, I like this platform, but well, I do and I don't. That's for another time. Business-wise, I don't care for it. I'm going to be honest with you. Business-wise, I don't. You know, YouTube taking 50% of your cut. Yeah, that's not a partnership. But that's, anyway, I don't even know why I went there. It's not part of my focus. Subliminal prey, yes. Universal energy, okay, hi, yeah. All right, I went backwards a little bit, so forgive me for a moment. Let's go. Let me try to catch up with you guys here. Did I answer your question, SRF? Did I answer your question about Pluto squaring your Elgo, your sun? Elgo is a fixed star. Elgo is a fixed star within Taurus. That's why, yeah, that's why that messed me up because Pluto wouldn't be squaring Taurus. So when you said Elgo, I know the fixed star Elgo is in Taurus energy. So anyway, yes, Christina, great to have you here. So Cassie Mulligan, great saying, thank you, Universal. Cassie, I really wish I understood T-squares and aspects more, like how to find them in charts. Oh gosh. It's really simple, actually. And I would need a way to be able to show that to you. You know, like I would need my devices to work where I could screen share, like so that it would be here. And so I could just simply draw it and you could see it because then you'd be like, oh, that's easy enough. The main thing, Cassie, to answer that question is to, as long as you can find squares. If you can find a square, then you can find a T-square because a square is 90 degrees, right? It's a 90-degree angle. Well, a T-square is just this side also being squared up. So it's a square this way. It's a square. It's a left square and a right square, which creates the T-square. That's how you get that T-square. So if you can recognize the one T-square, then you can surely recognize the other one. So it's 90 degrees this way and 90 degrees this way. And that's how you get the T. So it's one point right here being squared by the star here and by the star slash planet here. Okay, and that gives you your T-square. So we'll pretend that there's like Pluto right here. We'll say that my fist is Pluto, right? So here's Pluto, and we'll use SRF's example. Her sun is over here, and then we'll say that my elbow would be, we'll just say Venus for the hell of it, okay? And so it would be Pluto squaring Venus at 90 degrees this way, and Pluto squaring her sun at 90 degrees this way. So that was just a really short, quick, just so I feel like I didn't ignore you. Let's see here. Yes, Universal, thank you for being in the building. You're doing work. That's beautiful. I'll take you any way I can get you. Sheila says, interesting, good. Do not unlist the video. Tell me what you're talking about, Sheila. She says, do not unlist the videos, please. What video are you referring to, Sheila? Mama K, I'm so sorry. I'm just getting to this comment. I've been babbling for like 20 minutes and I'm just seeing you now. Hello, lady. Hope you're feeling good. And I'm happy to see you here. Thank you. Tammy Kelly. Yes, yes, yes. By the way, for fellow YouTubers, right? Tam and Kel, another great channel. I started talking about them earlier. They are a fun Florida couple. Their most recent video, they're actually in the ocean, or at least looking in the ocean. One of them was. But you've got sand, you've got surf. They're fun. And they're funny as, I mean, hijinks, antics, they're funny, but they're animal lovers. This past year, they had a litter of puppies, and they vlogged the whole thing and the birthing process, which was amazing because I hadn't had puppies around in my life and birthing since I was a little kid. And so that was an amazing process to watch. So that's Tam and Kel. They're good people. Chat with Kay, another great channel. Show up. Chat with Kay. For all you other YouTubers here, Chat with Kay, Tam and Kel, Christina Peril Family Vlog. Yes, these are all other YouTubers. Sheila's vlogs. Sheila from Korea. Sheila, who's from Zimbabwe in Korea. Check her out too. Universal Voice, another great channel. All these channels are great channels. Just give me a moment, astrology folks. Subliminal Radio. Check out Subliminal Radio. Classy Cookery. Subliminal Radio's got a lot of optimistic, positive uploads. It's really, I call it mind training. Subliminal Radio calls it, subliminal radio, where you're hearing positive thoughts being replayed over and over. But there's this really beautiful ambiance in the background. There's a beautiful visual. And she's got a lot of really awesome 8-hour and 10-hour uploads that you can let roll while you're asleep. So literally, she's got ones for quitting smoking. She's got just some really awesome ones. Really awesome ones. Go check out her channel. Let me see. Universal Classy Cookery. I mentioned her. She's on the West Coast. Check her out. A lot of cooking going on there. What I love about Classy Cookery is she's cooking, and I like a lot of her things because she doesn't use sugar a lot, and I can't do that. I consider it, she does alternative, like she'll make treats that are good for her kids. So she's got things that includes nuts and stuff, and just, anyway, she stays away from the white flour a whole lot, which is something I don't use either. And so I love watching her recipes and her uploads. And I'm hoping, is there everybody else that's a YouTuber here? And if I missed you, just comment again so I can repeat your name, your channel name. Tanisha Armstrong, I don't know if she's still here. Check her out. She's been doing a lot of reviews, reactions to videos, to music. She does reviews on different foods. I like Tanisha because she's raw and uncut. She just says it like it is. And that is what I like, people who just keep it real. Let me see who else we got to look at. I think that's everybody. Yeah, because I'm scrolling way down. Team Gravely. Team Gravely, I don't know if they're still in the house, but go check out Team Gravely. This is Team Gravely Miss Needaboo, who has a lot of inspirational videos that she puts out. She does a lot of shopping vlogs. Again, another very, very positive channel. And all these people are really down to earth, which is what I love. People who I can connect with who are down to earth, who have been honest. And that's a big deal. And I know, forgive me, shit's shaking all over the dang place. So who else? Maria Fontanosa, I think I mentioned her. Maria, are you still here? Tell us where you're from again. I want to say she's from the Philippines. Maria is a seamstress. She does a lot of really cool stuff. She amazes me because I don't know how to do any seamstress stuff at all. I'm not a seamstress person. I like to create, but I'm more of creating in the kitchen, or I like drawing. You know, I'm into art. That's my kind of creating, and creating with food. I love creating alternative sweets because I love my chocolate and my sweets, but I gotta, I'm always trying to figure out healthy ways. So let's get through here. Chatting with Kay, check her channel out. That's right, Chat with Kay is here too. I'm scrolling back down this way again. Did I talk about Universal Voice? Universal Voice has a lot of really awesome audio and visuals. Universal Voice runs videos where they're usually very calming and soothing. A lot of them differentiate depending upon, like, Universal just had one for Valentine's Day. So there's a lot of different, these are all good people, worthy of checking out. Chat with Kay. Chat with Kay is my sister from another mother. She really is. We've never actually met, but just when we became YouTube neighbors, there was just an understanding that we have. You know, I talk about it all the time. The souls know each other, even though the personalities don't. But she comes from a family of 12 as well as me, as myself. And so Chat with Kay is also another person where you're going to get the real deal. She's very honest, very straightforward. She runs a ministry with her husband. And so I love their energy. Please check their channel out. She's a great supporter of Allastrology as well. So remember, any other YouTubers that are here in the chat, go check them out. See if you like what they're doing. And tell them you met them at Allastrology and that G recommended them. So here we go. We're catching up now to the astrology questions. Lou S., are we coming out of Neptune's fog at the end of the month? Here's the beauty about Neptune. It will always shower a fog, no matter what, okay? However, the Neptune fog, the water of Neptune, sending its power on the North Node, has already been seen. As soon as the North Node and Neptune, okay, they were in a tight square from mid-December till the second week of February, right? This is what Lou S. is referring to. Well, the North Node in Gemini, this was representing our lungs and our ability to breathe, our ability to communicate and think and talk, right? This is the pandemic energy because it was being squared by Neptune. Neptune, right, is all about that, okay? Neptune is all about coming in and adding water, all right? So lungs, water, 90-degree square, which means complications and stress and tension, all right? So as soon as the square opened up a little bit, meaning they're no longer in a really tight square, Neptune is literally, Neptune right now, we've got Neptune at 1957, which means 20 degrees. And we've got the North Node already. This is wonderful. The North Node's at 1644, so that means 17 degrees. So there is a 3 degrees difference now between the North Node and Neptune, which means I'm loving it because this will help the pandemic. This will actually show that we'll start to see a decline. And we started to see, I've been paying attention to this. They play the news every single night religiously. And so every single night you'll hear the pandemic numbers. And for the state of Illinois, 2 weeks ago, the state of Illinois announced that they were going to see, they were paying attention to the numbers, and they were going to see if there was going to be better numbers rolling in. And if better numbers started coming in, they would allow restaurants to open up to a higher capacity, okay? But they were waiting for that, and they were expecting it, right? Because they said that they had already seen a decrease in the amount of new cases per day. And I'm going to tell you, the minute I heard that, you know what I did? Here was me, right away, zoning in on the astrology, okay? But I had been expecting to hear that because when did I put that video out? Months ago, back in December. I talked about this tight square between Neptune and Gemini, and for everybody to just understand that this was coming and that we should expect a raise, that we should expect the numbers of the pandemic to heighten. But then once mid-February came, we should expect a decrease in the numbers, okay? Because Neptune is stepping away from Gemini energy, which means the water squaring the lungs. It doesn't mean just pandemic. This would have contributed to breathing, respiratory problems. This is what it would have contributed to. Water and the lungs, right? What is that? Pneumonia, right? Pneumonia, similar, right? Didn't we hear that when the pandemic first came about, right? When the ugly bug first came about, or heard about how the symptoms were so similar to pneumonia, right? So Neptune getting away from Gemini, but Gemini energy is also our thinking, and it's where we're headed for our future because we're talking about the North Node. So thank you, Lou S. This was an awesome question. It's relevant to the times. It's about, you know, Gemini energy is your community. It's your neighbors, but it is also your digital neighbors. Okay, in the last live, we talked about how Gemini graduated and why Gemini, you know, back in the day, Gemini energy was strictly just about, you know, going outside and talking to the next door neighbor, right? Or, you know, going over to the neighbor's house, or, you know, just people within your immediate environment, like people that you work with or people that you go to school with, right? If you're in school. Also coworkers, right? So that Gemini energy, because Gemini has graduated, right? Because we as human beings have evolved, right? And I don't want to spend time going into that, but go listen to the other video and you can see the evolution. I'll give a good example though, real quick. Under that video, she wasn't in the live last time. What was the name of her channel? It was another YouTuber. She had a great comment. She said, well, back in the day, the best way to get the news was to you know, talk to one of the old ladies after church at tea time is what she said. You could get all the good grub then, she said. And that was a great example, right? Ladies, you know, you or whoever, I'm not into that and I don't know if I ever recall doing that, but after church, some churches have what they, like a community meal together. And so, yeah, there's a lot of conversation that happens. Uh-oh, we lost the internet for a minute. Oh no, I hope you guys are still there. A good way of getting information and communicating was sitting down and talking with people at church. So whatever it was that you used to do, which now nobody's really doing that. Well, they might be doing it now, but for a lot of folks, if they were congregating at church, they might not be eating together afterwards anymore, right? But since we've graduated and we've learned how to communicate digitally, it is now all about Facebook, right? YouTube. It's all about, you know, social platforms. It's all about that. And this is where the North Nodes have been for the last year and will be for the rest of 2021. And this is important to know and understand because this is where you're headed. This is what your future will be included. This is part of your future. Learning how to communicate online with others, all right? So for many, like I have a mother, she's up there in her age, and so for her, she gets her phone and it's like, I don't know how to use this damn thing, right? There's like all these buttons and it's crazy and it's confusing. I mean, at one time she was pretty good, but she's, you know, things are changing in her mind now, and now all those buttons and options are way too confusing. Like she needs a fresh tutorial every single time, so it's too much for her. But there are also people, I think I even have a sibling in my family, maybe more than one, who doesn't want to use the online stuff just because they didn't grow up doing it and they're not comfortable with it. Well, folks, this is part of your future, this technology. So it's time to embrace it. And haven't we been forced to embrace it during the pandemic? Because if it wasn't for this, where would we all be right now? It says that there's, what, 15, 14 of us sitting here talking, listening, and like we wouldn't be able to communicate if it wasn't for that. So Neptune pulling away from there should make that easier, should make it clearer, because also keep in mind the Gemini energy and that North Node in Gemini has a lot to do with how we get our news, right? Because the individual thinks it's the reporter nowadays, right? Because, well, I can show you something and I can take a picture of something and all of a sudden I'm the anchor, I'm the news person, and I'm giving you the data. But you know what? It doesn't mean it's accurate. And we had Neptune squaring tightly that information, squaring tightly the North Node, which meant it was easy to think that what you were looking at was legit. It was easy to think that the information coming to you was on point or was accurate. All right. So as Neptune moves away, it will help that. Now, that's the overarching energies for all of us. For an individual's chart, they're going to want to make sure they're paying attention to where Neptune is now. So if you have a planet, right, or a point like at 20 degrees in the opposing signs, like in your natal chart, so if you've got something at 19 or 20 degrees in Gemini, okay, or 19 and 20 degrees in Sagittarius, there's still going to be a factor in your life. Okay, so in your natal chart, if you've got anything at those same degrees, you're still going to be under the Neptune effect. Okay, so let me go to the next question. Here are we, coming out of Neptune's fog. Oh man, Lou S says, it's going to be a newness indeed for that which serves us, letting go of that which no longer serves us. Right? Isn't that what we all need? Can I please let go of that which no longer serves me? Because there's a part of me that wants the new, but then there's this other part of me that's like, but I'm comfortable with this, damn it. I want this. Like, I don't want this to change, you know? So I get it. But it's the only way to grow, right? It's the only way to grow. Cassie says, I really appreciate you talking about asteroids because sometimes it's hard to find much online. It is hard. And, you know, whatever comes through, the reason I talk about the asteroids, I find it fascinating that what's been deemed as asteroids are usually very strong feminine energies. I'm not lying. These are feminine. Like if you look up all the really strong asteroids that aren't talked about, they're all like these divine, feminine, mother goddess energies. And it's just fascinating that they've been kind of knocked down a bit. And it's like, okay, these are the minor things that you don't really need to know about. But I'm going to tell you what, I have found that they are just as relevant for my own chart, like in experimenting and living my life and being like, okay, something happened. I didn't see that coming because it wasn't Mars, it wasn't Neptune, it wasn't Saturn. What was that? Nothing was aspecting it. But guess what? When I went and I started pulling up the aspects on my chart, oh, that became a whole nother world. That opened up a whole new layer of knowledge for me in my chart, which became a turning point for me in my health, a major turning point for me in my health, because I have a buttload of asteroids in my 6th house of health. Well, if you were to pull up a regular astrology chart, they don't show you your asteroids. Like if you were to go online, you would have to ask for the asteroids to come up, and you would have to pick them out by name, meaning you would have to know what they are. Well, if you don't know any of that, you're not going to get any of it, and that's not going to come up. Well, I had a friend who also had major health, my astrology partner also had major health issues, and we kept searching, and we're just like, well, this doesn't make sense. At that point, we felt like astrology was failing us. We felt like it was failing. We were like, this doesn't make sense. It's not proving itself. I don't see how this could be. Once we found the asteroids and we saw the degrees that they were at in our natal chart and then started paying attention to what was aspecting it, that was the key. That was the key for her chart. That was the key for my chart. It opened up a whole new layer of understanding. So asteroids are important. Again, for certain individuals, they might not be as important, but if you're an individual who is searching or who's still covered in clouds of like, okay, this, I'm not seeing things line up, okay, because it's not proving itself. It may be there's things there even though you don't see that there's things there because of your traditional chart system. So yeah, I like to talk about the asteroids. I think they're very important. Christina, 1:06 in the afternoon down here, sis, in the Philippines. Awesome. So this is a good time for you. I'm so glad. Thank you, Christina, for showing up. Cassie says, like you, find the meaning and origin stories, but have to put it together like a language to find out what it means when an asteroid squares something else. Yes, it helps a lot. It is, it just, you know, again, I'll repeat what I said before. Astrology gave me answers that I could get nowhere else. And they were answers to questions about myself and my, not just my experiences, they were answers to questions about why I knew the things I knew. And that might seem weird because I know a lot of people, I'm addressing this because I know there are people who may think, well, we're not meant to know everything. And I agree. I think mystery is a great thing. I actually like not knowing things, to be honest with you. I know people probably don't believe that, but I would rather sometimes, and I'm going to put it like this. Not necessarily about my life. Like, of course, if there's a surprise party, right? There's some things where you really genuinely want to feel surprised, right? But when it comes to like, it's really bad. Like, I could watch a movie or to read a book, and it's just like, whether I want to know it or not, I already know the outcome. And it, because the way information comes to me, this is weird. It's weird to explain this, but I get the end result before I get the beginning of the story. I hear the ending. I hear the outcome before I get the beginning. So what that has done is it's created for me where I would much prefer to know nothing. And it doesn't necessarily mean it happens all the time, but there are many times when I know things I don't necessarily want to know. And so it's not just about movies. It's not just about books. It could be about you. It could be about individuals that I meet who I know nothing about. Okay, there could be things that just come through that I don't necessarily want to know, but you just know them. So why do I know that? Right? So it answered for me questions that nobody else could answer. And I've talked to a lot of different people. I mean people who I consider my spiritual gurus, my teachers. And they would just kind of look at me, and I'm always, people are usually silent. They just stay silent. And I'm just like, okay. So I realized, well, gee, you better start digging further to get the answers that you need. And so, anyhow, that was to answer that question of knowing things and things giving us information. Chat with Kay said that is a blessing. Whatever it is you're saying that's a blessing, Chat with Kay, I agree. Because I know we're like that. Maria, hello, sis. It's okay. So she's also in the Philippines. Maria's in the Philippines and listening. Go check Maria's channel out. Maria is honest. You give Maria, she gives back to you. I can vouch for Maria personally, even though I haven't met her. It's just the way it is with some people. Tammy Kell, I saw that story. God bless that guy for doing that. So I'm not sure what story. I'm so behind in the comments, in the chats, you guys, so forgive me. Just roll with me here. I'm not sure what story that was, but there's a lot of good people coming forward. I'm hoping that you're talking about Tam and Kel, where people have the hardware store they opened up, or in the mall that opened up, that gave people a place where they could be safe and shelter, right, and electricity and warmth. Well, I can't imagine being in 0-degree weather and having to start a fire in a house that doesn't have a fireplace, and not having, like, man, the animals. What would I do for the girls? Like, oh my God. I was thinking the best thing to do would be to get in the car and just go, but like their gas stations couldn't, like, they couldn't, there was no, they couldn't pump fuel. Like, oh my God, what do you do? The next best thing is to pitch a tent. Like they said, pitch a tent in the living room and go old school. You know, that's what one of my housemates was saying. I was saying, you're right, that's what you would have to do. You create a fire outside the house, like in the backyard. Who has lumber laying around? I mean, some people do. Like, we have fires here, so we do, thank God. But pitch get a fire going outside and have stones like the natives do for the ceremonies. I'm for real. You have stones that you literally put in the fire, and you heat the stones, and then it's those heated stones you bring into your living room in the tent, and you literally place them like in a pan of some sort, some sort of a hot spot that you can create, whether it's a cast iron or, I have no idea. I've never had to do that. I've been in sweat lodges, though, and it's the same idea. It's the same basic idea. You want to have an enclosed area, but you're just having the stones in the center so that the stones are heating the environment. And if you want some moisture, you can pour warm water or whatever, hot water or cold water. Yeah, you don't have a hot water heater. You can pour water over the stones, and that creates steam, and that's what we do in the sweat lodges, and so that's really nice. But have the fires outside, not in the house, and just pitch a tent. I wouldn't want to be doing it, and I'm praying for whoever has to do that, whoever has to live that way. So, yeah, wow. Yeah, God bless people for helping. If you've got the means and you can help, please help. Saying a lot things, not aware of that. Okay, I'm not sure, Universal, so I'm going to pass that one up, but come back again and let me know what you're talking about. I'm so proud of you for explaining that T-square without your lighter. Cassie, you've been here a long time. I have a lighter. I can pull it in. I can pull my lighter in, Cassie, but yes, I got it. I got the T-square done, right? With no lighter. Thank you, Cassie. Tam and Kel, fun, fun, fun. Yes, Tam and Kel are all about fun and animals and food. Tam cooks some stuff, man. She had burgers and fries the other night. I don't even eat meat, but let me tell you, it looked really good. But they're funny as heck. Sheila's vlog, the live stream videos, please leave them in public. They are public, sis. They are public, aren't they? If you unlist it, it won't be suggested to people. Well, you know what I did on the last one? I didn't want to, it is public now, but I didn't want to make it public then because I wanted to be able to fill in some of the behind the scenes, like the description. I wanted to be able to do that. And I was having problems. I haven't had to have a live and then go, like Mama Kay, maybe you can answer this for me. Or even Sheila. Sheila, you do lives all the time. After the live is over, I was trying to publish it so that it could be seen. And I was having problems. It was the weirdest. Again, Mercury retrograde is very, anyway, it's very specific in my chart in creating all sorts of technological problems. So hopefully I won't have that problem tonight, Sheila. Hopefully I'll be able to immediately let it go public because it was telling me it was unlisted. Then it was telling me that it was public. Then it was, I mean, it was really weird. And then I was watching, it said it was unlisted, but I saw people commenting. It was so weird. I was just like, okay, this is Mercury. And I just decided to not stress about it and I went to bed because it was late. And I said, I'll take care of this tomorrow when I get up, which was late. So yeah, it didn't go public for a while. Thanks for the shout out. Of course, Mama Kay, you have a quality channel, top-notch channel. You are, you know, we are all small. We are all small channels. But it's the intent in the being behind the camera that is what's going to give us our longevity. Okay? It's the intent of the being behind the camera that's going to give you your longevity. So we might be small potatoes right now, and that's okay. You know, everyone has to start somewhere. And I'll repeat some words that somebody else said not too long ago. I can't remember who, but it was on someone's channel. And they said that any success includes failure. Not that I'm a failure or you're a failure, but whatever we deem as failure, right? Every time you upload something and you're like, oh man, it didn't do what I wanted it to do, right? We kind of see it as it didn't hit that point that I wanted it to hit. But that's all included in the recipe for success. That's how we learn what works and what doesn't. So you're a quality channel. So absolutely. You're quality and you're honest. That's the main thing. Everybody that's here is a quality channel and you're honest. And you roll the way I roll. And so I can't say enough about everybody that's here. Chat with Kay, thank you for the shout out. Okay, blah, 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 blah. Yes, Christina, you are welcome. There is a sound which comes up when you tilt. I bet there is when you go through the comments. I'm not surprised. It might even be my microphone. Thank you for telling me, Sheila, because I do want to know. I re-listened to last week's live. Oh my God. I don't know how anybody even listened to that. I felt so bad. It was because I am very sensitive about, like, I'm that person where even if the screen doesn't look real good, as long as I can clearly understand you, I'll listen. But if the audio is bad, like if I have to fight to hear and to understand what you're saying, I'll click on the, your subtitles. But if you don't have subtitles, man, I have a hard time staying focused on what I'm looking at. I have a hard time staying tuned in because I'm just, anyway, so I'm very sensitive to sound, so I appreciate you telling me. Hopefully it'll clear up now. Let me know if it keeps up. Maria, thank you, Miss G. I'm listening while hanging clothes. Yes, you are a Wonder Woman. That woman, you know what's so cool about Maria's channel? Where she lives, this woman lives, I'm not sure exactly where in the Philippines, but she is a daredevil. She gets on her motorcycle, and I think she's behind somebody else on the motorcycle. I think there's two people riding the bike. And she's vlogging while she's doing it. Like, she's got the camera going and everything. So you're like on the bike with her. And it's just wild. It's wild to me because I, first of all, can't imagine being on a motorcycle. Second of all, if I am, I better be driving it. Third of all, I'm probably not going to be vlogging while I'm doing it. Like, she's great. She's a daredevil. This lady, anyway, I love watching her channel. She does cooking too, by the way. She's the seamstress. She speaks my language. I don't speak hers, but she understands me, and we get along. Oh, Miss Mama K, don't worry about your meds. I know you. I know meds make you sleepy. Don't worry, sis. I got you. J and D, what's up? I'm so glad to see you here. How are you? Who is this? Is this the dad? Because your son is adorable. He is so cute. He's like maybe 5 or Julio, I think his name. He is such a little cutie. Oh my God, I keep calling him, look at little man. He's such a little cutie, and he does the YouTube thing so good. He's like, don't forget to thumb up and don't forget to comment. Like, he is awesome. And you guys are fun. Another really fun channel. It's a family channel. Another fun family channel. Yeah, I find it fascinating that you do work for installing netting for birds. I find that fascinating. So you were recently, you were in the Midwest somewhere with all the cold and the weather. Yeah, I know, and all the snow and all the craziness. Man, working outside, like 0 degrees, tons of snow. Oh my God. It's better than, yeah, at least you have a place to go to that's warm, right? And has electricity at the end of the day. But thank you for showing up. And yes, Fun with J&D is another YouTuber for all the people here in the comments that are, oh my God, I'm sorry about that. For all the people in the comment section here. So we got Maria Fontanosa, Christina Perro, like a lot of other really good YouTubers here. So, you know, get yourselves acquainted if you don't know each other. Chat with Kay, Sheila's Vlog, Tam and Cal, Universal Voice, Subliminal Radio. Let me see who else we got here in the house. Yeah, I'll be here all night if I keep scrolling down. I'm going to get lost. I got a cat meowing at the door. Taffy wants in. Hold on a second. I'm going to go get Taffy. We'll see if she comes in and makes an appearance. You coming in? All right, you got to stay. All right, you're not going to have me up and down all night at that door. You want to come up on the desk and talk to everybody? You want to come and say hello? Do you jump up here? I haven't been in here with you. Only with your... You want to come and say hello? You can move the laptop over since, well, it's not doing much good any dang way. Let me see if I can make room for Taffy. She might come up. I don't know if you'd be able to see her, though, because I've got the camera, so I can also load the camera. Oh, it doesn't matter. All right, so let me go through these comments and see what else, what astrology do we have to talk about, people? All right, let me find out where I was at. All right, SRF, you're still in the house? Oh, you were answering my question that yes. You're welcome, Christina. You're welcome, Maria. Yes, Fun with J&D's in the house. Go check out their channel. There goes Maria talking a language I don't understand. Must not be from my eyes. But Maria's good people. Very good people. All right, Cassie, would love to see more videos about your personal experiences with stars and asteroids. You know, that's a good idea, Cassie, because everybody's doing videos about the typical stuff. Thank you. I really love those recommendations. I really do. Give me ideas about what it is you guys want to hear about. You know, I mean, I talk about the main stuff, I guess, because a lot of it, well, especially 2020 and 2021, I felt so obligated that you guys should know, that you should have had in advance the notification of the rough energies, the rough road, the rough time that we were headed for. You know, it's really difficult sometimes. Sorry, I was playing with the wires. Sharing about things. The best way to talk about it is just to say, hey, you know, there's changes coming, and to be open and to stay flexible. And so that is still another message for Gemini energy. Okay, and this is important because you know, this is where the north nodes are. I keep saying this. But that's the main thing about Gemini energy. It's to be flexible with the way you think and be flexible in the way that you communicate. That is the number one thing. And if you can do that, that will make 2021 and 2022 easier, okay? And I mean, and I'm saying this because the Pluto return, like the big day, literally Pluto return, it's like 2024, okay? I know we're going to actually get very close to Pluto returning to the United States. Like they're only a degree away right now before Pluto goes retrograde at the end of April, I believe. And so Pluto's going to be like at 26 and some odd degrees, almost touching the United States Pluto. What you're going to do is just pay attention at that time what's going on within our government, what is happening in the business sector, what's happening within our institutions that have been set up over a long period of time. Because that will be the theme for the next couple of years. That will tell you what's going to happen once Pluto gets back to that spot. Because retrograding Pluto means it goes backwards, all right? And so it will retrograde all throughout the summer. But then, like every fall comes around, the retrogrades end, because that's just how it works with the seasons. The retrograde will end and it'll start to go forward again, okay? And when it goes forward again, it'll catch back up to the United States Pluto. And when it does, we're going to be seeing a similar theme replaying, okay, playing out. But this way we have the indicators. We can expect, we can see in advance what's coming and not be so opposed to changes, because these changes are happening so that we can advance, so that we can evolve, so that we can grow and elevate. And we can't do it when we keep doing stuff the same way, right? Like you went to kindergarten, then you went to first grade, then you went to second grade, right? Well, there's a school of life, right? And so you have to face different challenges, different scenarios, different people, and we're doing this as a unit. Humanities is doing this. Humanity, all of us are doing this together. But we're working in conjunction with the Earth. Don't forget that. That's important. The Earth's going to elevate, but you can only elevate if we do. And we will. It's just let's just make this so that we can do this in the least painless way possible, people. So yes, we'd love to see more videos about your personal experiences with stars and asteroids. Well, I'm gonna tell you something. I would love to share more videos about stuff like that. It's just like when it starts coming out, I feel like I'm just talking about myself, and I don't know. I feel like I shouldn't be doing that. So I want you to just like maybe guide me through that process. Be more specific. I can't. Yeah. Your experiences with the stars and asteroids. I guess what I can do is give you a timeline. That's funny you're saying this, Cassie, because actually before I went to bed last night, I have an orange folder where I used to literally journal everything. And I was journaling all of the metaphysical experiences I was going through, because there were a lot at one time. There was like a 8-year span where it was like so much crazy stuff was happening, but it was metaphysical stuff. And I journaled it because I felt like they were events that nobody would ever believe. And I felt like I had to journal it. Taffy wants out again, so she's going to have to, come here, girly. Come on. Otherwise, she's going to be going in and out all night long. I already said we can't do that. So Lou S., what are key asteroids to consider when looking at in your chart? Well, I'm going to tell you what are some of the key asteroids right now, Lou. Really good question, first of all, because we're on asteroids. You want to pay attention to Eris. That's E-R-I-S. You guys know about Eris. I have videos about Eris being the feminine power. Some refer to her as Mars' sister. She can be combative, okay? And Eris, I think, is at 24 degrees of Aries energy. Eris, not to be confused with Aries, but Eris is in Aries right now. And Eris has been squaring Pluto, okay? So this is why we've had Eris in Aries and Pluto in Capricorn literally squaring exactly. And so what that means is Eris being a female power, right? And it's basically this, I'm tired of sitting down. I'm tired of being told to sit in the back seat. I'm tired of just basically being treated like I don't count, like my opinion and my voice doesn't matter, or being treated in a way as though I am somehow less. And that is Eris, Eris. Okay? So if you know how to use the astro.com's website, you can punch in Eris, Eris. And I can actually do a video on how to locate the asteroids at astro.com, because that's a free website that allows you to pull up your own charts. But if you want me to do that, I can do videos on that too, because really what I'm trying to do is to get more videos that are more broad, you know, and to try to touch in with people in their charts, their personal charts, for those who actually have questions and concerns. I want to be able to do that during the lives, I think, because, you know, there's a million channels out there doing rising sign readings. And I'm not saying that I'm opposed to doing it. I just sometimes wonder, I feel like I'm treading water. I'm gonna be honest with you. I feel like I'm treading water. I feel like I'm not making any real headway or any, and I don't mean growth as in all astrology numbers, but I don't, there's a part of me that just feels like the people who want the knowledge, maybe not getting the knowledge that they actually need. Okay? So I'm just tweaking. I'm tweaking right now. But I definitely want to make Saturday Night Lives a constant. Okay? The Star Room. Welcome to the Star Room. I don't even think I said that. Welcome to the Star Room. So if you have questions here, and you know, you've seen a lot of people already ask their questions because they have a little bit of knowledge about their chart, feel free to ask me those questions here. That's totally fine. Just know that I'm not looking at your chart right now, and information that come through can very well be additional information that comes through me for you to hear. And then if you don't have a chart and you want that, just comment below this video. Reach out to me. It doesn't cost you a dime. This is not a charge. It is my passion. It is my, like, G will one day die, a happy person, when people recognize that seeing their energetic frequencies that they were born with on paper is just as important as knowing your family's medical history. Just as, if not more important, okay, because that gives you your past, but if not more important about your future as well, knowing what your inclinations are, what your strengths are, where your tendencies lie, what some challenges are in your life, what you came in with. They give such a level of understanding of self-acceptance and of self-knowledge. And if there's one thing the great ancients taught us, were those words that they put up on top that said, know thyself. There was so much truth in that, so much truth. Because once we have that, we're able to accept who we are. And once we can accept who we are, we can accept who others are. And our world would be so different. It would be so different if we could do that. I'm going to step away again for the cat. I'll be right back, so don't go anywhere. And I'm not letting her back in because she's going to have me doing this game with her all night long. Okay, Taff. Okay. In all fairness for her, in all fairness for Taffy, in all fairness for Taffy, she usually sleeps in this room at night. This is her office, her bedroom, her office. So in all fairness, she's probably like, can I go to bed? Although it's not even that late yet. No, she's normally up playing right now. I mean, it is midnight my time, but she's usually, this is her playtime. Okay, so let me see, what do we got going on here? If you're just coming in, make sure you like the live and thumb it up and share it and spread the love. We are doing readings, star messages. So if you have a question, ask it. Let me see. By the way, Sis G, I put my laptop on dining table and I play. Oh, thank you, sister. Kids, my kids say, wow, Miss G on the house. Good morning, Miss G, so far, still currently. Bless you, Christina. You are awesome. You are an amazing YouTube neighbor. That's the Christina Peril family vlog. They are The real deal. And let me tell you something about them. They're huge. They're a big family. So, yeah, you would benefit much. And yes, Christina speaks the same language. Even if you don't speak her language, she speaks your language. I can tell you that. Okay, chat with Kay. Of course, Mama Kay, don't worry about that. She said yay. I know what the yay was for. It was for Taffy, wasn't it? I know it was. Well, Taffy left the star room. Here in the building, got you. Got you, Universal. As you were, Universal, as you like to say. As you were. Maria, good. Love to hear more about Pluto retrograde, maybe an upcoming video. Yeah, I can do that. Pluto retrograde upcoming video. This will be great, you guys. I can go through these comments and read them. I was going to say I should be writing this down. All I got to do is reread my comments. So yeah, please put all of your suggestions in here. Because yeah, if I've got people asking for it, I'll do it. The last thing I want to do is put up videos that nobody wants to watch, you know. I would love a video on how to start like an astrology journal. Really? Wow. I could totally do that because I used to do that big time. That was, yeah, I used to really do that. Cassie, you must be like in my head tonight, girl. You must be in my head. There's a really good way to do that. And it's not hard, doesn't cost any money, it's absolutely free. For those who are serious, it's really easy to do, and it's the best. It was one of the best ways to start learning about astrology. Even if it simply starts off by tracking the moon in your chart, because the moon moves, the moon can change signs like like the moon transits through a sign within like 2.5 days. So for 2.5 days, you're under a certain impression about the moon. And the moon is your emotions. It's your feelings, okay? So depending upon what sign it's in, all right? Like if the moon is in Aries, you're going to be very fiery. You're going to have fiery emotions. So what does that mean? If your emotions are fiery, chances are you're probably not going to stay quiet. If somebody says something to you, you're going to be easily fired up, right? Because your emotions are in Aries. So Aries is fire. The moon is water, right? So all of a sudden, what happens when you put fire to water? It boils. Exactly. So Aries might become very impatient, right? But it could also go to the other side, which could be a lot of fun. Aries is young. It likes the idea of adventure and doing and being very physical, right? That's the sign of Aries. It wants to do something it hasn't done before. Aries likes to do things about itself. It's a very much of a me energy. So these are just examples of what the moon, how it would be in the sign of Aries. And so if you just first started with tracking the moon every day, right? Obviously, every 2 days it's going to change. But pay attention to your emotions when you see how the moon changes. If you just begin there, that would be phenomenal. But yeah, I can do a video on going through the rest because it's complex though. Because I mean, there's a lot of planets. So the moon would be my number one, and the sun is a good example. We'll do the sun. Like right now, today, 2 days ago, the sun went into the sign of Pisces. So maybe you noticed a change in your life. Okay, how would it have changed you? Your vitality. I'm going to tell you the first change for me. I went from sleeping 8 hours a day to all of a sudden it's like I need 12 hours of sleep because the sun is in Pisces. Okay, why does that happen? Well, the sun is your energy and your vitality, right? Pisces is water. Pisces is sleep. Pisces is dreams. Pisces is the actor. All right. So in other words, your energy, you might not feel it to be as much because it's now in the Piscean waters, all right? It wants to be in bed. It wants to sleep. It wants to rest. Being in bed, it feels good. I'm also going to say something, chat with Kay, also for you too right now because you mentioned meds. And I noticed this 2 nights ago. I take something at night too. The last thing you want if you have pain is to have pain when you're trying to sleep because it just doesn't work. So what I noticed immediately, and I do every time planets start getting into Pisces, especially the sun, is if you take something, whether it's an aspirin or Tylenol or something harder, a substance of any kind, it's going to be stronger than usual because it's going to affect your sun. So when the sun is transiting through the sign of Pisces, you may have something that you always have. but you may realize it's working a lot faster than usual, or it's more powerful than usual. So whenever the sun is in Pisces, that's going to happen. You can expect that. Now, this is general, okay? And I say general because depending upon your personal chart, there may be something else in your chart that counteracts that, okay? But in general, and obviously the more sensitive you are as an individual, the more what I'm saying is going to resonate with you, okay? Because for me, I'm highly sensitive to all the planets up in the sky, okay? And so what they do when they make their changes, I'm either going to be sensitive through how like the information I'm getting, but many times, many times, because Uranus is in Taurus right now, I'm energetically feeling their changes as well. Okay, because Taurus is your sensitivities, it is your five senses, but it is also the senses beyond vision, beyond taste, touch, and smell, and beyond feeling. Okay, beyond hearing, it's metaphysical senses. All right. And so Uranus there means it amps it up even more. Uranus amplifies. It's like shocks and surprises. So for people who are having tough times, yeah, knowing where your Taurus energy is in your chart is going to be important. Uranus is in Taurus for like 4.5, 5 more years. Yeah, yeah, 4.5 to 5 more years. So we have that to look forward to. So, but that's an example, Cassie. Keep track of where the sun is in your chart. Keep track of where the moon is and how you feel with your emotions and how you feel energetically. Now, of course, we can't, disregard foods we've eaten. We have to you have to be a scientist about it. What does a scientist do? They observe, right? They run a test, they observe, and they are keeping track. They are logging, all right? So you can't just if you're aware of things in your life, if you're like, okay, I know this is good for me, this is bad for me, like I don't do well with this, I know I had a stressful day, obviously you take some of those things into consideration. But just log it as objectively as you can. You're not necessarily going to have the answers right then, okay? That's not the goal. The whole logging is so that months later, maybe a year later, you can go back and look at it and track it and pay attention to what was going on in your life at that time. Because that's also information you would want to write down on the side of what planet was where and what was going on in your life. Significant things. And then typically you can go back and look at those journal 6 months, a year later, 2 years later, and you look at it and you'll be taught the greatest astrology lessons then. So it's not a quick thing. This takes time. Astrology, just so you know, it's Uranus. Well, Uranus wants, or I should say Aquarian energy, okay? Aquarian energy, its traditional ruler was Saturn. Why is that important? Because Saturn says you will not learn this quickly. It takes a long time, but it takes your persistence, it takes diligence. It's just like the sign of Capricorn. It's not going to be quick. It's like by piecemeal. Do a little bit here, a little bit here, a little bit here. Slowly climb the astrological knowledge calendar and relate it to your life. That's the fastest way to learn it. You can learn facts blindly and you can memorize them. It won't really sink in and hold, right? You won't really retain it until you can relate it to your life. I feel like I'm babbling, but let me go on. Thank you, Miss G, for the quick comment. Yes. Thank you, Ms. G, for the quick comment about my transiting planets. And yes, it is what I am experiencing, what you said about physical pain. Yeah, physical pain. There might be mental anguish and fear involved too. So just realize that with the Pluto thing. But, again, let us know if you want in on ceremonies. That's important. It's her lair. Yes, this is Taffy's lair. It is her lair. It means I'm caught up in the comments. That's good. As a Virgo, hope so far I will be fine, Sis G. Yeah, Christina, if you're a Virgo sun sign, I believe. I don't know what your rising sign is. If you want me to look, all you gotta do is get your birth info to me, and I can see what your rising sign is. And the reason I mention the rising sign is because when you say, I hope everything's gonna be okay, it's your rising sign that will show the timing of events for you in your life. Now, there is a full moon coming up and it's in the sign of Virgo. Okay? The Virgo energy is all about my health routines, my work routines, my health habits. It's about my job. Now, I'm not sure if you work out of the house, but I know you're a busy woman. because you're a busy woman. You're the one woman, you're the woman who's got like, you're doing like three things at once. You've got a lot going on around you. You're really creative. You're just, yeah, you're just a creative queen. You're like, if you're not cooking, you're serving. If you're not serving, you're creating, you're planting, you're buying, you're shopping. You've got that energy, right? And so it's all about projects. It's all about projects. So it's like, okay, I did this, I'm on to the next thing. I did this, I'm on to the next thing. I did this, I'm on to the next thing. And serving with those projects. So for Virgo energy, the message that's coming through, Christina, for you right now, there is nothing that can't be handled, nothing that you can't change. Understand the power is in your hands, Christina. If you're still here, I hope you are. The power is within your hands. There might be dietary changes, right, that you are going to implement. And I think a lot of people also, not just you, but a lot of people listening, I think this is a big general message too for a lot of people in the chat right now, or maybe for people who are going to watch this video later on. Because pretty soon, I'm pulling in some astrology knowledge right now, pretty soon Mars, okay, Mars right now today is at 2340 of Taurus energy, okay, which means that within about a week, we're going to see Mars, like a week and a half, we're going to see Mars going into the sign of Gemini, okay? Gemini energy is very flexible, very mutable, but what's going to happen is it will, Mars, wherever Mars goes, it creates change. It starts things. Mars is like the instigator. Mars is all about, okay, what are we going to do? We're doing something new. So Mars going into the sign of Gemini, Gemini has everything to do. Again, it's about talking, relating, communicating, but it also has to do with networking through work, right, for our job, networking with our neighbors, right? It's about calculations. It's about business, right? It's about I can do this for my neighbor. We can barter, we can trade, we can exchange skill sets, we can exchange whatever it is my skill set is. You do this for me, I can do this for you. But understanding that there's, because of that intensity of that Mars energy coming through, I kept hearing food in the beginning, Christina, when I read your comment, food, and taking action, because Mars being in Gemini, there will be this, see, I like to pull in the astrology to back up the messages I'm getting, just so you understand what's happening as I'm sitting here. It's a combination of a new way of thinking about my body. There's going to be an emphasis because Gemini energy is thinking, but Mars represents your body, but it's going to be for me too. It's going to be for everybody. There will be this, okay, I'm thinking more about my body and my health and my ability to be active, my ability to be mobile, my ability to do, my ability to just simply take action, right? Thinking about my actions with my body, right? We're going to be thinking more about that. And this is going to be fascinating because eventually Mars then will be sitting on the North Node. And this is going to really kick off new activities for all of us in our lives. So for Cassie, Lou S., whoever else is here that's got a chart, look up where I'm going to come back with that. I don't even have that here at this. Oh, maybe I can do that. I don't know. This thing won't let me do what I want to do. But what's going to happen is Mars will be conjunct the North Node. And so this is going, you want to pay attention what happens when they get within 2 degrees of each other. You want to be aware of where the North Node is, what house Mars and the North Node are conjunct in your chart. Because when you know that, you'll have a clear understanding of what this new activity is, what this new endeavor, what this new way of communicating is going to be. And this has everything to do with what you're supposed to be focused on in your own life. And it could be business, but it's a new health routine. It's a new way of communicating. It's a new way of relating with your neighbors. It's definitely could have to do, again, money and business, barter and trade, social media, definitely networking, keep that in mind. So for Christina, a change in food, a change in your knowledge about food, a change in the way you use food, whether it's recipes, just something different, but it's actually not as simple as just a change. It's a change that's going to be better for your own health. You're Virgo. I've never seen your chart, Christina, but you said something a second ago about you being a Virgo. Virgos have digestive issues with their gut, all right, in their gut. So anytime something happens, typically in a Virgo's life, if an event happens, something that might be shocking or surprising or a new event, immediately the response factor, the reactionary factor will be in your gut and you'll feel it there first. So everybody's got different issues, whatever those are, but you can you have the power. I kept hearing you have the power by making dietary changes. So whether that's like for me, no sugar, no white flour, right? Like I've had to learn this over the years for myself. I have to be very selective, very careful, and any grains that I ingest have to be first sprouted. So, not to say that that's for you, but there will likely be changes that you'll be making and that will help with the digestion. And understand this, this is also coming through, and this is for everybody. They say like we have a brain here, we have the brain in our head, and then we have like our higher mind, our higher brain, like which is when our antenna is up. But there's a third brain in our body, and we're learning about this, the body consciousness brain. It's in the gut. It's in your gut. It's in my gut. We have that other brain. And this is also part of Mars and Gemini. This is going to become very common where people are going to realize, oh my gosh, what's going on in my gut has everything to do with what's going on in my life. If my gut ain't right, my life ain't right. That's going to be the new theme. So, and it may already be for people because the North Nodes have been in Gemini for a long time now. So, but once Mars gets there, it'll be a big deal. Huge family that loves Miss G, and I'm so grateful for the Perro family. They're wonderful, wonderful big family. So I hope that answers your question. Ooh, astrology journal, please tell me more. Yeah, so the astrology journal, the best way to begin, well, all I can share with you is what the best way was for me in the beginning, and I'm just going to glaze over this really shortly here because I'll do a video for you guys on it. It was tracking the planets. So you first have to have access to an ephemeris. And you do. If you know how to work the astro.com's website, in that one video I did way back, it showed you how to get on, like right from the Google page. I showed you where the pull down menu was, where it shows you where the planets are at the moment. That's the ephemeris you want to look at. And I'm staring at that very same thing right now. It's the sun, the moon, Mercury, Venus. It tells me what sign they're in, what degree they're at, and it even gives me the seconds, okay? And so it gives you the breakdown, and it goes from the sun, all the major planets, okay? It gives you the North Node, and it gives you Chiron, which is important because Chiron is a huge deal in 2021, a very big deal. The United States is going to have a Chiron return also. So again, this happens in the United States' fourth house. This is all about our appearances. This is all about George Floyd and what happened to George Floyd, right? And this is all it's about the racism. And it's not necessarily just a black folk racism thing. I'm very close with the Native Americans, and they've been in prisons on the same land that we're on. They've been in prisons. They may not have bars up, but they are on prisons, and they're called reservations. So it's like there's just, and this isn't just about those two groups who may look different. There's a million people who can say, hey, but we look different. We look different. Our eyes are this way and we look different and people treat us this way, right? It's all about appearances and treating somebody a certain way based on their appearance. And so this Chiron return, it's a big wake up to you can no longer treat people that way. You have to treat all beings, as sacred beings, and every being has value, and equality has to be. You are a being, you have just as much right to be here as I do, regardless of how you look. So, first thing you want to do, Lou, get a hold of the ephemeris, get your notebook out, have it just be for the planets. Even though you're looking at them and you can see them where they are, if you don't write them down and see and ask hard questions of how they apply to your life, well, yeah, then you won't get anywhere. But that's step one, and I will do a video for that. Cassie says, I want to start one, but I wasn't sure how to organize some of the planets so I can go back later. Yeah, I'll share with you what I did with mine in that video. It, yeah, and it worked for me. I liked it. It really worked. It was a great idea. And if you're feeling the calling to do that, Cassie, then definitely do it. That's the thing, people. When you're feeling, it's basically like the planet's telling you, hey, I'm talking to you. Can you hear me? Are you there? Like knocking on your head. Can you hear what I've got to say? I've got something to say to you. And so if you feel the desire, like that desire that you feel, it's there in you for a reason, right? And so you want to explore that, right? You want to explore it and at least give it a shot. Give it a shot and see. Experiment with it. Make the decisions on your own after you run your experiments and decide. But you can only do that if you're keeping track of the planets. Cassie also says Uranus is going across my nadir soon. I hope I don't move. I know, Cassie. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, sister. I would have to look at your chart again. You may have something that balances that out, but if that's the only, okay, I almost have this. I almost have the house I'm living in paid off. Oh my gosh, really? Cassie, you just moved there recently, didn't you? No, maybe I'm wrong. I might be thinking about somebody else because I'm thinking, how the hell did you do that? That was phenomenal. You know, I would have to look at the rest of your chart because I know I originally said, oh, Cassie, I'm so sorry. That, just so that you understand when I said that, I was relating it to myself because, yeah, like Pluto was talking to me the other day. Because I'm going to have Pluto on my midheaven. Not within the next few years, I'll have Pluto at my midheaven. Yeah, well, if it's at your midheaven, that means it opposes down there. And so it's like, okay, Pluto is deep transformations and changes yet again, right? But I have a Pisces moon. When you have a Pisces moon, it's a beautiful thing to have a Pisces moon, but it also, if you read some of the older astrologers, the meaning of a Pisces moon, it's basically the sign of like a vagabond, like a gypsy, someone who's never going to have a place of their own, who will always be kind of like that rolling stone. That's what they say about a Pisces moon. I am very fortunate because I have other things in my chart that offset that. So I'm not really like that, but in a way I am. So I have essences, I have tastes of that in my chart or in my life. It's, yeah. And I don't really care for moving. Although it's funny because once I get on the road and I'm really mobile, like I enjoy it, but at the same time, I get accustomed to certain things being a certain way. So for Cassie, just so you know, I was responding to me relating to myself, not to information coming in. I hope I don't move. I almost have the house paid off. I'm living in, so I hope it's home freedom. Yes, Cassie, that's a really good way of looking at it because Uranus is all about freedom. There would have to be other factors in your chart that says, Cassie, I'm sorry, but there would have to be something else there to say, yeah, you're definitely moving. Uranus is very powerful. And if you know right now what degrees that is, Cassie, you said it's going to cross it soon. Oh, Cassie, that means it's at 10 degrees. Shit. Sister, if it means you're moving, wow. It doesn't have to necessarily mean you're moving, Cassie. It could just mean surprises at home. It doesn't have to be moving from the home. There could be surprises, though. But if it's at that 10 degrees mark, Cassie, that is an eclipse point, actually. It's an eclipse that's coming in 2020, at the end of 2021, I believe it is. The beginning of 2022, there's an eclipse coming. So, and it's like at 10 degrees of Taurus, and that's that big eclipse point I've been talking about. Oh, Cassie, maybe that was for you then. Man, I've been talking about it for a while because it came in like a lightning bolt. It's like, you got to make a big deal about this. And it was like, okay. It was like, why? And I was looking at my chart like, holy crap, why do I need it? And I'm thinking, this has nothing to, this isn't for me. This is for somebody else. Cassie, you might be the one, sis. We're going to have to take a look at your chart, girl, and see. But yeah, I have Chiron near there too. Well, Cassie, it definitely could be remodeling. You are like always trying to change stuff in the home. That could be it. But I would really feel better, Cassie, if I took a look at your chart because, yeah, I would want to look at your chart anyway, Cassie. Just because now that I'm seeing that, that means that you have Chiron almost at, yeah, that means that you have those. Jeez. Wow. Yeah. I'm going to have to take a look at that for you, girl. Yeah. And it's a serious topic. Shit. Cassie, the way I'm feeling strong, but Cassie, if I'm feeling like I need to take a look at your chart, be open then. Be open to possibly. That's all. Yeah, that's just crazy though. That's really crazy, but be open because there's just such this strongness of, oh my God, I need to look. But I'm not hearing anything clearly about it. So we got Meg. Welcome, Meg. For me, this transit will occur in the ninth. Oh, Meg. I wish I knew what transit you're talking about. I'm assuming, is Meg referring to, welcome to the Star Room, Meg. Yeah, I have no idea which transit you're talking about, Meg. It could be Pluto transit you're referring to, because I did a lot of time talking about Pluto. But it could be Uranus. You might have seen Cassie's comment. And so anything that has to do with the ninth house, Meg, just so you know, it's about your belief system, okay? It's about your beliefs, your spirituality, your religion. It is also about your ability to travel long distances, okay? But not just traveling long distances, but also about foreign lands and foreigners and foreign languages, okay? Airplanes and flight. Ninth house is all about that. So, Meg, could you chime in again and let me know, Meg, what, because I don't recognize you. And so I know a little bit about Cassie's chart, like off the top of my head. But, Meg, you're just saying simply transit occurs in my ninth. I have no idea if we're talking about, yeah, I just don't want to give out wrong information. Good night, chat with Kay. Take it easy, lady. Thank you for being here, sister. Thank you very much. Christina, yes, I need to watch what I eat. Thank you so much, Sis G, but why it's hard for me to get diet? Why is it hard? You know what? Your chart would totally tell you why it's hard. I'm hearing stick-to-itiveness. Likes change, likes to, it's kind of like, I'm not going to say that it's a negative, but it's learning to have new variety, but new healthy varieties. Like you like variety, but many times when you're the one in the family who is, you know how moms typically, okay, it's time for dinner. Well, what did mom make for dinner, right? It's mom's job to make dinner. Well, if mom is a busy woman doing a lot of different things, which I don't know of any woman that's not nowadays. We're all, working, having the babies, raising the babies, the laundry. Like, oh, a woman now is Wonder Woman. Let's be real. It's not just a woman, you're Wonder Woman. So there's a lot going on. And so many times when there's not, it's this, okay, I know this, it's fast. I can go ahead and make this because I know how to make it. It's easy, it's simple, it's fast. Or it's what I was brought up on. That's a big thing with Virgo energy. Some of the Virgo energy, it's a Mercury ruled sign, okay? This is good to know. But also Virgo, when Virgo energy is elevated, this may sound strange to some people listening, so I want you to understand what I'm about to say is esoteric astrology, that it's attached Virgo to the moon. So many times for Virgos, depending upon what level they're operating at, they're pulling in a lot of moon energy. And if you're pulling in a lot of moon energy, you're pulling in the past. Okay? I want you to think about that. I know we have a lot of Virgos in the audience. And if they're not Virgo suns, they're Virgo risings, or they have prominent Virgo energy. And I know that because I have prominent Virgo energy. And if you're listening tonight, it's because that resonates within you. Like that's just how it works. There's a million of me. There's a million astrologers on YouTube. You're going to listen to whoever resonates for you. And they resonate with you because of their chart and their energy, right? And so I have Uranus in Virgo. Well, Uranus is astrology. So a lot of the way I talk about astrology, using a lot of Virgo words and the way Virgos relate it's gonna connect for you. You're like, okay, I get what you're saying. Or I might not understand everything that you're saying, but I know you know what you're talking about, because that's Virgo knowing how to connect the dots. So if I'm the astrologer connecting the dots for you, you're like, yeah, okay, great, this is wonderful. Because I get that and I get that, but I just don't get all the in-between stuff. But that person does. And that's what Virgos are wonderful at. They know how to connect the dots, right? They know how to get from the A to the B to the C to the D. Even if they themselves don't know it, they'll know somebody else who does. And so, Christina, this was my long answer to you. Many times, if you're pulling in moon energy, because that's what came in, moon energy, which was so crazy, I haven't talked about the esoteric astrology, but if you pull in moon energy, what happens is if you're pulling in the past, sometimes there's things you're making. Maybe you were brought up on these things. Maybe this is what your mom cooked. Maybe this is what grandma made. There's like ancestral knowledge that comes through, but it still may not be good for you. It might have been good for the ancestors. It might have worked well for them, but it still may not work for you and your body type. It may not work well and for, well, your Virgo body. And for Virgos, the stomach stuff it's a big thing. So understanding there may be this, whether it's, using mama's recipes or whatever, or just, you may cook and not even realize it, that you channel ancestors when you're cooking, because I know I've done that in the past. And we do it unconsciously when we're busy. Virgo or Gemini energy, and there's a lot of energy in that right now, where we're multitasking. We're doing multiple things at one time. And when we're doing multiple things at one time, it's really hard to stay focused on one thing. And so that Gemini energy typically can be the jack of all trades, but a master of none. And so just keep in mind that you need to be, and I don't want to say it like that. You don't need to be anything that you don't want to be, but being open to change. But if you're going to make a change that's good for you, it's something you're going to have to make a real effort to stick to it, because that was one of the big words that came out, is a lack of stick-to-itiveness for you. And it's just a commitment. And remember, you're going to have help, because Mars is going to be in Gemini soon. So you're going to have more body focus. You're going to be thinking more about your body and more about your health. And you're going to remember this conversation. And then you're going to just have to simply experiment with your own body, what works for you. But body consciousness, again, is coming in. This is for you, but it's also for all of us here, because this has been with Chiron and Aries. It's also another emphasis on body consciousness, is paying attention after you've eaten or drinking. Is drinking even a word? Drink something. Pay attention to how you feel. Like within 30 minutes after you've consumed something. How do I feel? Okay? And keep track of that. Keep track of it. Don't listen to what somebody tells you, okay? You keep track for yourself. And when you start keeping track for yourself, your body's going to start to respond in different ways. It's going to start talking to you. Because your body, when you start keeping track, you're telling your body that you care about it. And when your body, just trust me, this part is coming through loud and clear. When you start doing that for your body feels as though it's being loved and that you're cherishing it. And it will start talking to you. And whether that's going to sound different, that's going to come across differently for everybody, depending upon who they are. But if you listen to what your body has to say, it's going to tell you, yes, eat that, no, don't eat that, or at least experiment. But trust me, body consciousness is coming for everybody, okay? And so remember, the gut health will be the health for the rest of the body, and that includes the mind. All right, I'm still here in the star room. We're going on 3 hours. Do we have any other? We got a little bit more we're going to go through here. I see my candle burnt out, but I did bring another candle. So we'll light this other candle, okay? This other candle is they burn for 2 hours, which is one of the reasons I like the candles, because they give me a sense of how long I've been doing this. I like to help as much as I can, as many as I can. Again, like I said last week, it's not really, the astrology and understanding it, is one thing, but if there's other information that can come through that can help people, I'm all about it. And if I've helped you, please. One thing I didn't mention earlier, other than thumbing up, is make sure you are able to come in behind the video after you've been here and put a comment down below under the video once it's been re-put up again, because that will help. That will help the video, that will help all astrology. And if you help all astrology in that way, you know, like when you like and you share it out, then I can help you more, because that's how that works. Then I can do more for you. That is just how it works. So just remember to come back in and leave a thumb or a good comment down below. And when I say a good comment, just be honest. I'm not telling you to make something up. I'm not asking you to do that. I just want you to be honest about your experience that you had here in the star room, okay? So that others can read it and learn, because people encounter the channel that have never been here and they don't know. But they read your comments, okay? Yes, I think I need to watch the eat, but okay, I got that one. Mars and North Node will be in my 8th house of Gemini. So Mars and North Node in Gemini in your 8th house. Okay, so your 8th house, okay, so we got Mars and we got Gemini. Mars is at home in the 8th house of your chart, which is good, okay? Now, it's going to be in Gemini, so I, I, I know a lot of people with this placement, sister. This is a nice placement. This will give you the ability to talk more, to communicate about deeper things about you, okay? Because the 8th house is a very intimate house. It is about the house of bonded relationships. It's people that you bond with by money, people you bond with by blood, people you bond with through emotional, deep emotional experiences, many times past lives. So if Mars is there, if Mars enters there, which it's going to, right? Mars is going to enter there, and your North Node is going to be there, all right? This is a new beginning, starting and creating new beginnings with the way you communicate about yourself. It's a new level of understanding yourself energetically with others that you bond with. Does that make sense for you? You have an energetic body. It's outside of your physical body. It's Mars in the 8th house. The 8th house, right? The house of Scorpio. So what we're talking about is deeply bonded relationships. Now, Mars being there, what you want to look for, if you know this much about astrology, you want to see if Mars in pairing up with North Node in Gemini, when they're conjunct, you want to see if they're going to be aspecting anything else at 90 degrees when Mars is on top of the North Node. If it's going to be aspecting anything by 90 degrees, that's going to be a square. If you got a square, that means difficulties. And it's going to be difficulties with people that you're close to. Because we got to remember Mars is malefic. But it doesn't have to be all bad, okay? Gemini energy, Gemini is air, so it's talking. So if Mars comes along, Mars is action. So it means new communications, new ways of talking, okay? But because it's in the 8th house, right, you're either talking about deep stuff, maybe you'll start journaling, maybe you'll start vlogging, maybe you'll start blogging. Mars gives action to that energy. It's like it puts the rubber to the pavement sort of thing. It gives it a vehicle to move through. Mars says, okay, I'm here. What are we going to do? When Mars arrives at whatever location in your house, what are we going to do about it? Let's do something, because that's Mars. It wants to do. But if it's in Gemini energy, all of a sudden, the talking becomes the action, right? All of a sudden, you start, your words become your actions, okay? You start, yeah, wouldn't that be this? Learning sign language, right? Speaking with the hands. Like, God, I don't even know what that's going to mean for me. This will be in my first house. This will be interesting. But people you have deep relationships with, but it could definitely be talking, communicating, because it's Gemini energy on the internet, being able to connect in with people deeply through social media, right? Talking about deep things, okay? Talking about things of substance, all right? And it doesn't have to be with just people that you're deeply connected with, because we're talking Gemini energy. So this is sibling energy, of course. So yeah, you're going to be really close with certain siblings. And even people who may not be blood relatives, you're going to be really close with. But just people that you meet that feel like siblings, right? You'll be able to connect in a deep way. But there may be new people coming into your life that it could represent that too. See, it's not just one thing. There's lots of different ways. And the more you express your free will, like some people live strictly by their charts, but a lot of people are able to live beyond some of those energies where it makes it very hard for an astrologer to predict because they live beyond their energies. They live beyond the inclinations of the planetary bodies. So what kind of a person are you? Do you live beyond them, or are you within their inclinations? If Mars comes on to you and says, well, Mars and Gemini can typically be very combative energy with siblings because it's Mars, and Mars is malefic, right? And Mars usually brings heat, brings fire, right? Because Mars is hot. And Mars was born with a knife in each hand, right? So Mars has the ability to come in and to start stuff, to instigate things. But will you allow it to express that way in your life? You may go further, and you may be able to squash it, and you may have lived to the point where you have control of your Mars. And that's living outside the boundary of your Martian energy. That's you saying, you can't hold me down, or you can't make me do something I don't want to do. You don't control me, right? My ego doesn't control me because that's Mars energy, the ego, right? You don't control me. I control my ego. Your soul takes over and controls. So your ability to have free will might be a factor here because, well, that's what came in for you. So hopefully that resonates for you, sister. Let me know. So Meg says I have a Pisces moon too. That's what happens. So I resonate. We resonate, sister, right? When people, there's certain things about your chart, whether it's your rising sign, your moon sign, your sun sign, it's just going to click for you and it's going to resonate. And you're going to be like, wow, I get this person. They get me. I've never met them, but yeah, I like their delivery, their style of delivery, or I know they know what they're talking about. So yeah. Pisces moons are my favorites, same as Virgo moons. Well, that's good to know, Cassie. That's good. I'm on your A list then. Like end of July and early August is end of July, early August. End of July, early August. End of July, early August. Cassie, what would that be? That's when you're going to have Uranus on your IC. I'm thinking. I think is what you're referring to there. Meg, okay. Hi. Mars conjunct North Node. Meg says, Mars conjunct North Node. Yes, Cassie and Meg, I am sorry. Because I'm getting bits of the conversation, and sometimes I talk longer than I should, and so I've lost myself. Like end of July and early August, it's Cassie, I'm sorry. It says DIRECR, so I don't know what that means, and I'm going to scroll past, but give it to me again, and I'll help clarify. Because I'm not sure if you're talking about Uranus. You likely are. Or you could be talking about Mars conjunct, but that couldn't be because that's going to happen soon. So it's got to be Uranus. So Meg says, hi, Mars conjunct North Node. Again, so North Node is where you're headed. Meg, what I would need to know is this I'm assuming maybe you're talking your natal North Node because you have the two ends there. Is that what that means? If it's your natal North Node, okay, and Mars is conjunct, this will give you a great indicator. It will tell you what you came to do and for this lifetime. So pay attention, Meg, whenever that's going to happen. And if that's not your natal North Node, let me know. If it's just transiting North Node, you don't have a TNN. So if it's just the transiting North Node, because that's what we've been talking about, but you put that in there, so I'm assuming you're talking your natal North Node. Either way, clarify it for me so I can be more specific, but if it's your transiting, if you have your natal North Node there, then you know, Meg, that this is something you're supposed to be doing. If it's your natal North Node in your 8th house and Mars is transiting there, something's going to occur, okay? And you want to pay attention. Be very aware. Take notes. Pay attention. Because your North Node is something that your soul came to do in this lifetime, okay? And so when Mars comes, Mars will activate it. Mars is an activator planet. So when Mars gets 2 degrees, just pay attention. Start 2 degrees before it hits there. You're going to notice it. You're going to feel it. You're going to notice it. Again, deeply bonded relationships. It's everything I spoke to before. But understand, this is something your soul wants you to do. And keep in mind, folks, when we do what our soul wants us to do, the soul rewards us, okay? You'll see it, you'll feel it, you'll know it. So Lou S says, yep, Virgo sun and moon. Yes, Lou S is a Virgo sun and moon. So yes, there are things that resonate. Cassie Mulligan, thank you. You're welcome, Cassie. Thank you for being here. Remember to come back around and comment under the video of what your experience was in the star room. That's important. The reason it's important is because if we don't have those things there, the algorithm, YouTube, it won't recommend it and put it out there to anybody else. And then, then G's been thinking about going on a different platform altogether, and that's the problem. So I'm trying different things. There are things about the YouTube platform I love, but then there's other things that I'm just like, oh, geez. And I have a lot of great neighbors here, so I don't want to leave, but, and I want to be able to help as many people as I can. So I really do want this to work. So Sheila says, if we comment, people also can read and check your channel. Yeah, I also enjoy reading other people. Yes, Sheila. Sheila's a comment reader. A lot of people are. Virgos are comment readers. Virgos are all about the details. Virgos are comment readers. And Sheila, I know you're a Capricorn sun sign, but I haven't seen your chart. The fact that we're connecting, you probably have some prominent Virgo energies, right? Let's see here. Christina, I'm almost caught up. This is wonderful. This means I haven't been talking too long. Christina noted Sis G's got a big help for me. You explain it well. Oh, I'm so glad, Christina. Thank you. Cassie says, yes, sorry, late July, early August. Oh, at 14 degrees. Oh, good, Cassie, you have some time. Okay, so this isn't, okay, Cassie, this is good news. So this is Uranus at 14 degrees on your IC, or on your, yeah. So basically, Cassie, then, the fact that it's not conjunct an eclipse is good news for you. Typically, then, it does not mean that you'll be moving, okay? But I will definitely go take a look at it because you said that your Chiron is there also. So let's talk about Chiron a little bit, right? Chiron is our emotional wound, okay? It's a lot of people say it represents a wound that you got from childhood or a wound from a past life, all right? Now, if it's in your Taurus energy, this has to do with your self-worth. Bottom line, it's your self-worth. Do you value yourself? Typically, when people start learning about values, they usually put them on material things, and they gauge their self-worth based on their material things. So having your North Node in your Taurus energy is understanding that there's more to valuing other than just the material. Now, I'm not saying you don't do that because I don't know that about you, and I'm not making that statement. I think it's pretty damn impressive that you've already got a house and it's almost paid off, though, and that's pretty awesome. So that means, yes, material things are important to you, but it doesn't mean that you don't value things that you can't hold, right? It doesn't mean that you don't value yourself. It just means that there's a wound about that. So maybe something happened when you were younger, okay? Maybe something happened that affected your self-confidence and your ability to show yourself love and self-care, because that's typically what happens when when we're small, we're very impressionable, and somebody else makes a comment, and especially Tauruses, Taurus anything. If you have prominent things in Taurus, and yes, obviously it happened at home, it happened in childhood because it's in your fourth house, right? So, but it can, Cassie, I don't want you to answer this question, in the comments necessarily, but I'm going to ask it. You want to maybe look at your family heritage, your family lineage. Is there something there where there have been values placed on one another within the family based on their material success, their material gains, but but what I'm also hearing that possibly in your childhood, this light has a mind of its own. I thought the batteries, actually it's not even on battery, but anyway, it's got a mind of its own. There's also this it's a self-value, but it's, it's the Venus thing. It's about looking pretty, being aesthetically beautiful. And so that could be, you know, it could have had something to do with clothing. It could have had something to do with, just how you looked physically. And it doesn't mean it was something that was said that was even truthful. It was someone's opinion, possibly. And when you're small, especially Tauruses, again, Taurus energy, anything, there's this, there's a sensitivity and a fear within Taurus energy. And so there's that sensitivity and that fear of not being surrounded by the comfortable stuff, the tangible, comfortable stuff, and needing that to give you your emotional confidence and your emotional security. So your tangible world is what gives you your emotional security, if that makes sense for you, Cassie. And so there's a wound based in that. So whether something happened from childhood, whether it's strange, it's like, so did someone take away a favorite stuffed animal or a security blanket? Or was there a home that something happened in the home that changed, where all of a sudden this thing that gave you security was no longer there, or maybe even been told, hey, you don't need that anymore, right? Like I have a friend who was telling me about animals that she's had, like stuffed animals that she's had for, well, going on almost 60 years, because these were animals that she grew up with. And her home life was very rough growing up. And so these animals, these stuffed animals, were like a security blanket for her. And there's nothing wrong with that. Knowing what you need to create your security when you're in a home that's not stable, that's not secure, you need to do that. That's called self-care. But as adults, we come upon these outdated ways, these outdated modalities of being. And Cassie, that's what I'm hearing right now for you that's coming in. The full moon coming up is going to help with that. There's a full moon coming up in the Virgo energy, and that full moon in that Virgo energy, this full moon in this Virgo is about healing. This is about healing. So it's about letting go of possibly something that happened from the past, because, again, it's bringing in esoteric astrology right now, which is that Virgo connectivity to the moon and family and heritage, but heritage from the past, and understanding that not everything that our family taught us, not everything that this is kind of what was said at the beginning, not everything that our ancestors did serves us today. Okay? Seems like that's the theme so far. And so that's kind of, if you can wrap that up into what your question was, which was trying to understand how Chiron and Uranus, because Uranus being there, Uranus means there is probably this wound that you had that you aren't consciously, possibly, okay? Because typically Chiron wounds are buried and you're not aware of them. So when Uranus comes by, likely it will bring that wound to your awareness. And if it's in Taurus, it has to do with things that you value, possibly people that you value, okay? And it's going to be tied to your emotional security. Now, hopefully something there really made a lot of sense for you. Chiron is a little further away, not close enough to be conjunct. Okay, but Uranus will touch your Chiron. Okay, it might not be right then, but it will touch it. So you can expect Chiron to bring that up, because Uranus is all about, my job is to bring something that was not in your vision, something you didn't know about. My job is to either bring it to your awareness, or to take something that you had kind of gotten in a rut about, meaning it became a tried and true thing you were doing. And if it's in Taurus, let me tell you, fixed energy about home, what home should be like, what it should look like, what it should feel like. I understand this all too well, right? The comforts of my home. It's fixed earth. Like, that's mine, don't touch it. I value, it's fixed earth energy. And having Chiron there, Uranus is going to bring your awareness up about that, okay? Uranus will bring that to light for you, whatever that thing is. So Meg says, I have a natal south node in Taurus. Okay. So your south node is in Taurus, Meg. Well, before I read any more, and I'm not sure what you know about the nodes, but the nodes, if it's your South Node, Meg, this means this is something that you've come into this lifetime with as a strength. That's what your South Node is. I call the South Node our superpower. Like my South Node is in, I have South Node in Libra, actually. But because it's located in my sixth house, the way I've used it, okay, and it wasn't by my choice because, well, not once I was incarnated. And I don't want to go any further than that because we'll be talking all night about something else. And yeah, I'm starting to get a little delirious. But the South Node, and it being my superpower, to give the example, I could be in the kitchen and working with food, and I could just throw stuff together without measuring, right? And I will just know things. Like I will just know this and this together would be like a phenomenal. Like it'll taste great, and I don't have to taste it. And like measurements as a young girl, like making recipes and measurements. Like I would just, some people don't know how many tablespoons are in a cup, right? Like certain things I would just know. I didn't study it. I didn't do anything in this lifetime to know that, but I would just know it. So that's like a superpower. The trick, though, is that in this lifetime, we're not supposed to be. We're supposed to be accomplishing our North Node, which is the opposite, right, of the South Node. So if you have your South Node in Taurus, right, what is Taurus? It's my values. It's my money. It's my income. It's how you receive, right? It's things of value. It's love. It's self-worth. Okay. So if you're supposed to be achieving the opposite, which would be your North Node in Scorpio. And that's really what, understanding them both is what astrology is all about. You want to understand the both sides to really get it, to really understand it in a holistic way. Because if you understand one side, and all you gotta do is think about, well, what's the opposite of that? And if you can logically just talk about to yourself or out loud, well, what's the opposite of hot? The opposite of hot is cold, right? So once you understand one side and you think of the opposite, you know what the other side is. Well, that opposite side for you is what your soul came in to do. So you're really good because Taurus is also art, it's also creativity, it's ruled by Venus, so it's beauty, fine art. I've known a lot of beauticians where they have very strong Taurus energy, right? Very strong Venus energy. They're good with material and clothing. It's all about Venus, which is I want things to be beautiful. I want things to taste beautiful. I want them to look beautiful. I want them to sound beautiful, right? I want to look beautiful, or I want to make you beautiful. For me, for a while, my Taurus energy was because I was traveling for a while, for a couple of years, part of my Pisces moon. But I always felt at home wherever I went, which is a blessing in my chart. It's another story I'll say for another time. I'll wrap it up into Cassie's stories about the stars and my history and how I related it to astrology, which is I was able to use my Taurus, my South Node energy, where I would go in, and it's Venus, right? But I was in people's homes, and so I was cooking, I was cleaning, and I had like this epiphany one day. For me at that time, the cleaning had everything to do with making making this place look beautiful. It wasn't about necessarily, coming in as a decorator or something, right, or a remodeler. For me at that time, I could come in and make their home beautiful by just pulling out the vacuum, right? And it wasn't a conscious thing. I wasn't like, okay, I need to make their home beautiful. I need to be doing this. It was just me and the way I was letting the energy express. And it was after I had done all of this, like for multiple people's homes, I realized, oh my God, that was my South Node where I would normally, be, making beautiful desserts and dishes and stuff like that. But it had then started to, kind of elevate and do other things that people needed. But it satisfied for me this ability of creating something, even though I wasn't like doing fine art, I wasn't painting, but I was doing something in a very practical way in my sixth house, which is where my energy is, and that's Virgo energy. So I was serving, and I was doing it in a very practical, tangible way in their home and what they needed at the time. And so these were friends of mine and some family members. It wasn't like I was charging for it. No, not at all. It was service. It was definitely service, but it was much needed service. They needed some organizing. So for Meg, let me get to you now. So your South Node in Taurus at 4 degrees in the 8th house. Okay. So that's interesting, Meg, because you have your South Node in the 8th house, which is fascinating. So in other words, if your South Node is in Taurus energy, but yet it's in the 8th house, which is Scorpio energy, in other words, you have help. You have help already in how to accomplish your North Node because you've got your South Node sitting in Scorpio placement. So in other words, the 8th house is our bonded resources. It's our shared energy. It's our values. It's our money. So in other words, Meg, you've got, that was a blessing in a sense because you get help automatically to accomplish your North Node. And I see a lot of charts that have that, where they have, because for most people, or at least I'll say a large percentage of the charts I've looked at, and I don't know how many that is, but it's a lot. I would say that the majority of folks have a chart where the North Node is a difficult thing to accomplish because the South Node is their superpower. So why would you not do your superpower? Because it's like you know something without having any effort. So you wouldn't even bother with your North Node. You know what I'm saying? But because your South Node is where your North Node is, in essence, your North Node's in Scorpio, but your South Node's in the placement of Scorpio in your 8th house, you're already doing it, right? You're already kind of doing it. So that's a help. The universe is giving you some help. So will the Taurus North Node be a karmic period for me? Well, the Taurus North Node, when you ask if it will be a karmic period, we have Uranus at 4 degrees. Uranus already touched your North Node, Meg, because Uranus is now at like 7 degrees, 8 degrees. So back in the beginning of 2019, when Uranus, we're talking the end of 2018, 2019, when Uranus was at 3 and 4 degrees, that was definitely a karmic period for you. Now, could you have a karmic period because you're going to have the opposition happening? You could have something that comes up. I wouldn't expect it to be as shocking as when you had Uranus conjunct your North Node. That would have been a time where it was filled with shocks and surprises. But considering this is stuff going through your 8th house, I never refer to stuff as karmic. I don't know why I don't use that language. I don't really ever find myself saying that to somebody. But karmic sounds like, and this is just me trying to be clear, okay? This isn't saying, hey, you shouldn't be using that language. It's not at all. It's me trying to clarify. When we go and we live, and when someone says, it's karma, oh, that's karma. People feel like it's a curse, like it's coming around, it's coming at me, right? It's a curse. So your nodes, I want you to look at it in a way where I really feel for you it's a blessing. I'm going to stick to what I originally said in the beginning. Maybe somebody else already told you. You might have been under another channel and somebody else might have already said to you, oh, this is this is a karmic time. And maybe that's their way of saying, but I'm just going to use the words that I normally use and I'm going to stick with. I think you've been blessed because you've got your North Node over there in the Scorpio energy and you already had Uranus touching on that. But for you being at 4 degrees, it was already an issue for you in your life, right? I mean, unless I'm missing something, because again, I don't have everything in front of me, but I know that, Uranus being at 7 degrees, Taurus, Uranus isn't going to go backwards to that 4 degrees ever again. Like this recent retrograde, I mean, I shouldn't say that. Uranus will one day, of course, get to 4 degrees, but it's going to be a long time before it's going to get back there. But for right now, the South Node in Taurus at 4 degrees in the 8th house, conjunct my natal Chiron. I want to think this through again for you, Meg, before I answer any further. Will the Taurus North Node... Oh, I see, Meg. I'm sorry. I understand now. I'm a little slow sometimes. I get stuck in the details. Meg is jumping way into the future already. My bad, Meg. Oh man, you guys aren't going to be happy, but I got 15% of battery power left on my phone and I can't plug it in because that's what jacked up the live last time. So however much battery I got left on my phone, that's going to be our cutoff point. So I'm going to try to shorten my answers so I can get to everybody. I don't even know how many, if there's any questions here other than these two, but what I'm seeing here, Meg, is that yeah, okay, now I get it. So the North Node, you're talking about the future, the North Nodes leaving Gemini and then getting into Taurus. Okay. Well, Meg, this has been on my mind too. I have a lot of stuff in Taurus. And so the North Node's going into Taurus energy. Just know this, that wherever the North Node transits, it's an important time. It's what your soul came to do. And this is still a gift, Meg, because what's going to happen is you're going to have a North Node return, right? Because your North Node's in Taurus. I'm all messed up. Your North Node is in Taurus, so you're going to oh, I see what's going to happen. The North Node will be on top of your South Node. Okay, sorry. Well, you know, South Node is what we have to let go of. So if your North Node is on top of it, it's going to be a time where it's going to feel like things might be flipping and turning around in terms of what you value. It could also affect your income too. It could also affect your income. For me, it's a little bit on the opposite end of that. I'm fortunate because mine is more of a North Node return, but you're having the opposite of that. You're having North Node, meaning this is where we're headed, on top of your South Node, which is this is what I'm trying to let go. But that's all I want you to focus on, is it's going to come through and it's going to teach you. You once valued this, but you're now releasing this. And you're going to value this new thing. And that's what it's going to be about. So whether you want to use the word karma, you know, I don't know how you want to spin it for yourself, but I still stick with it's a time of a blessing. And some people may understand that to mean that it's just going to be like all roses, you know, like everything's going to be perfect, it's going to be beautiful. No, it's definitely about learning. It's definitely about learning because it's the North Node and the South Node. We're talking about your soul's energy. You're talking about your soul letting go and trying to show you new values, a new way to make money, okay? Uranus and Taurus is a big part of this, okay? Because Uranus and Taurus, when it got there, the new saying for Uranus and Taurus was all about reprioritizing your values. Like what you used to value, you're likely not going to value anymore because we are trying to elevate our values. We are trying to understand that we can hold on to the material world. And yes, we need money to make it. We need money to live, and money makes things easier. But there are things that are much more valuable, right? We have the spiritual treasures. And for energy in Taurus, I want you to understand something here, or I hope that I can convey a message clearly for you, Meg, which is that there's energy in Taurus that your North Node in your Scorpio energy, there is this bonded energy, bonded values, and working towards whether it's something you personally own, because you could work for somebody and that could also equal that same energy, that bonded North Node Scorpio energy, because it's partnerships, okay? It's partnerships. It's energy of, you know, it's like somebody who lives somewhere and they don't own where they live, but yet they're renting. And it's like, it's understand that the it's just understanding that how you treat things and people, always treat it in a sacred way. Always treat it as though it's yours, even though it may not be technically yours on paper. It's kind of like that feeling. But knowing that when the North Node comes through, it's going to give you experiences. It's nothing to fear, but it's just going to give you experiences that will help you to see that will help you to wrap your mind around it and to understand it. Cassie said, I moved a lot as a kid. Oh gosh, no wonder, Cassie. I'm so sorry. My childhood was rough too. I appreciate the emotional part you're talking about too. I paid the house down to have the security I didn't have as a kid. Yeah, I could totally see that, Cassie. That makes so much sense because that's what you would want. That's what gives you emotional security. I totally understand. But yeah, we'll have to take a deeper look. But again, it's about the Chiron thing, you know, and seeing if you've gotten past that. But the fact that you're talking about it, that you're relating that, Cassie, that's a big deal. That's a huge, huge deal. It's the awareness. Once we shine the light on it, in our mentality, once we shine the light on something, all of a sudden, the hurdle, the thing, it doesn't have that much power over us any longer. It's our consciousness. Can we be aware of it? You know, we can choose to look it aside and be like, I don't want to deal with that right now. And I know because for many years I did that. And it's hard. It's hard when you have family, when you have children, when you got a job, when it's really hard. I wish to get all you're saying, but now can't. Here in the building only, here in the star room only, I get back all again to know a lot, G. I know, don't worry, Universal. I know, as long as you're here, you're present, you're tuned in, you know, I can't ask for any more than that, for when you can and when you can't. Miss G, have a good night now. I have to go get some groceries. No problem, Sheila. Thank you for being here, sister. I appreciate you. Here, staying in the building. I appreciate you, Universal. Sheila's vlog will be back when the videos fully upload. Gotcha, Sheila. Gotcha. Christina, Sis G, why sometimes I feel that I live in other country and I meet people for the first time, but I feel I already know them. No, it sounds perfectly normal. I know them. Sounds not normal, but it does happen to me. I know, we all do. You know, some people aren't aware of it as much. Some people are. And now, Christina, I would love to look at your chart since you're saying this. I would love to see your birth information. So, you know, comment to it. If you don't want to comment, go to my the email, and you could put it there if you feel more better about that, about putting in your birth digits. That makes sense. What you want to do is birth time is going to be a big deal because then I can give you your accuracy. Okay, so sometimes I feel I live in other country, and yeah, you know, Christina, that also may be another factor. The being torn thing, being connected to your own family, but yet being connected to other people that you've never met and feeling like you're in another time, in another place, and definitely another culture. That is fascinating. So you feel, yeah, I know this feeling. You know, you feel like a stranger among your own people, among your own family, and among your own culture sometimes. It's your soul. You know, it's your soul. You've lived lifetimes, and your soul recognizes other souls, and you could have very strong Pluto energy too in your chart. When people have really strong Pluto energy, Pluto is your soul. Pluto brings in that soul's energy, and it brings with it the soul's knowledge. And so you could have knowledge from other lifetimes. You could have knowledge of these other individuals that you haven't personally met, but you just have this soul knowledge, and that's a big factor. Plus, you know, it depends upon what your moon sign is, right? Because that has to do with your history and your past as well, and your north node. Your north and south nodes have a lot to do with that too. So, likely you have a deep chart, Christina. You and I, we never really shared a whole lot of words. There was just like an immediate, like, it's like you don't have to have conversations. Your souls know each other. The personalities don't. And we just had an understanding right off the bat. So how do we have that, right? There's things about the chart and the energy that comes in, and your soul knows. Your personality doesn't know, but your soul knows, okay? And then you too could also be getting information from source, you know. Okay, I'm down to 5% battery power, so we only got a few minutes left, just so you guys know. And I appreciate you, everybody, for being here. Please, I'm going to see if I can get through how many more comments that I did or did not get through so that I can make sure. Still listening. Excellent. CMDNH in the house. Welcome, CNDNH. It's great having you here. Make sure you give a thumbs up. And please come back because we're just about wrapping this session up of the Star Room. And the Star Room, all are welcome. Messages are for all, whoever's ever here. So thank you for being here. Meg says, thanks so much for answering my question, G. I'll be in touch for a reading. So Meg, P.S. I should have said soul growth instead of karma for my question. No, Meg, that's okay. That's okay. I just, I got to understand where someone's coming from in their language so that everybody uses different terms. And for a lot of people, those different terms mean different things. And so I like to be clear. That was one of the reasons that lives were kind of like, oh, shoot. I don't want to misinform anybody. It's a big deal for me. Okay, Tam and Keller heading up to bed. Thank you, 2 a.m. Yes, it's 1 a.m. here, and it's late. Thank you, Tam and Keller, for being in the building, for being in the Star Room. Thank you for being here, Christina. Maria, thank you for being here. She's fixing her plants. She is such a green thumb. That's what I love, Christina, Maria, such green thumbs. So CMD, I got a minute or two left before my battery goes dead. Actually, I don't want to get cut off in the middle of the live, but it looks like I'm going to have to end this now. So please, CMD, I don't know who you are. You're new, and I really hope that you come back and make a comment down below or leave me your birth digits or put in a question and let me know so we can address it the next time we go live Saturday nights, okay, here in the Star Room. We're going to wrap this up because my batteries are about dead right now. And it seems as though my lives, this went for 3 hours and 40 minutes, which is phenomenal. And I hope that we can, move forward. And just remember, folks, when we're moving forward in our minds, when we're moving forward in the world, I think we just ended. Yeah, we did. Batteries.